What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's your straight ripping pro scrim night, where for the last 3 weeks we've been following some of the best teams in the entire world throughout their practice, putting a little bit of money in their pockets for some of the winners, and giving everybody a show and a peek to what Halo Esports is truly about. I'm Wanna Be Reckless, aka Wanna Be Casted. I got my handsome co-caster with me, my man Kyle, aka Elamite. What's up, baby? Look at all them trophies in the background.
Oh, you're too kind, Tony. Always a pleasure to be here with you, and can't wait to see what we have in store for today. Because these are two teams that we have locked in that are two of the most notable disruptor teams, I'd say, that we have outside of the Shopify Luminon matchup and storyline that's been building up here for 2026.
Yeah, we have two very interesting squads, and I find it to be very interesting from almost two, I guess, opposite side of the reason. I feel like, let's look at Kraken first. We had Kraken on the show just last week. It was fantastic. We had big hopes for them going into that scrim, and they proceeded to keep games close, but ultimately, I want to say it was maybe like an 8-9-1 before ultimately they had a bit of an emergency that popped up, and things had to stop a little bit early. But as far as the scoreboard, it did not favor them whatsoever. But they go and make a huge change almost that same night, and eventually suppressed joining that roster, and they go into that next tournament firing on all cylinders, including in a qualifier, getting third place. This is fresh after maybe some disappointing finishes. Kraken with suppressed have looked fantastic, where BEPS, it feels like we had really high expectations for them, and we haven't seen them here. We've seen maybe glimpses of greatness, but we haven't seen them consistently be great, and so far maybe falling a bit short of expectations during that same exact qualifier.
Yeah, I thought BEPS played against Shopify really well, even though they fell short, right? And then Shopify won the tournament, so you can argue they could have, kind of fell anywhere in line had the winners bracket gone a little bit differently. And of course, then they lost to, the Boo Boo Descendant and Luminon crew that came through. And that one was definitely a little disappointing. But, knowing this team, knowing their late start kind of to the run and the roster changes, plus my own experiences with them, I know like this is a team that locks in like when it's needed to. And like I mentioned, I feel like they have kind of a little bit of a late start, not playing in any of the previous qualifiers, not having their roster, Bound being out as well. So now that things are coming together, and really it's just Atlanta. Like never have these online qualifiers meant less, right? Like all last year the qualifiers were like almost more important than they are now. Travel and everything is great, the points help, but when it's coming, it's not the same kind of format that we're looking at previously. So really Atlanta is just where all eyes are, and what's really the only thing that matters.
Yeah, I think anybody who's been paying attention to any point in Halo Esports, from Halo 1, Halo 2 to even present day Halo Infinite, LAN is king, and that's where the contenders step up, and sometimes the pretenders end up showing themselves a little bit. And I feel like when we look at this BEPS roster, no matter what even this scrim says, no matter what that qualifier says, no matter what leading up to Atlanta says or shows, none of that matters. All that matters is what happens when they get on land, because I promise you, they're going to show out. I don't know if you've seen an angry Stella or an angry Bound before, but I would not get in their way.
Yeah, and I think going back to Birmingham with what you just mentioned as well, it kind of reminds me once again of that Luminon squad that was doing so well online, but then they made a change with the Descendant for Snakebite because of what happened on LAN, even though it was a 50-49, one of those kind of like heartbreaker kind of go either way games. So now we're seeing an even more revitalized roster. What I think everyone agrees, a stronger roster here with the Snakebite pickup fitting their squad and how well they're playing against Shopify, taking them down and winners consistently here now is, it's exciting to see what they can do.
Well, because of that, we actually seen a lot from Shopify Rebellion, and one thing I've noticed is that they already are the best team in the world in the winner's side, but they almost unlock something when they knock down to the lower bracket and maybe hit another gear. And when they come out of that lower bracket, it seems like, man, they look scary coming out. And maybe we have to have Shopify Billion on one of the shows coming up in the next week or two, because I'm sure we all enjoyed that. Meanwhile, I'm gonna enjoy this Kraken and BEPS roster. As I said before, we're especially with KrakenSeas. KrakenSeas have had a huge glow up. And mind you, they only made one change. Bringing in Suppressed, who's always been a part of that friend group, the Soul Snipe, the Drugs and whatnot, the Buddy AIDS crews and whatnot. He's always been a part of that group, and it felt like he's wanted to go to that team for quite some time, but for some reason, things just didn't line up. Even more recently, I felt like he wanted to be on that roster. I was like, Falcade comes in out of nowhere and kind of takes his spot. Like, it feels like it's always not the right time for Suppressed to join in as the fourth. Finally, he joins in on the crew, and look what they were able to do. What makes a team like Kraken so special?
I mean, it's 4 players that have the ability to take over a game, right? I think we've seen that with Donnie. Donnie's always somewhat, the best way to describe him, because he's so talented, but sometimes I guess would be like a wild card player. Well, will he play as well on Sunday as he did the rest of the weekend? And will he be able to take over a game like he's doing in the past? Because we see him get to second place with multiple rosters. And I think that kind of conversation falls into players like Penguin or a lot of these other guys who maybe are in the grand finals a lot, but don't have like the winningest record in it. Will they carry? But those are the guys that, getting to the grand finals is a story in and of itself. Like, you have to play so well all weekend to get to the grand finals, and then boom, the grand finals begin. It's like another tournament in and of itself. So that's like for Donnie and for a lot of these guys, it's will they be locked in the whole time? I think if you're not happy with your roster and you're confident in your teammates, you're never going to be able to like reach the next level. And that's why I think you see lots of team changes and lots of movement around. Plus, as players, everyone has lives. The game's constantly evolving. People are getting better at different rates. I guess to try to describe it in a way, like by the time we're here year 5, there's some new names in the conversation, new teams kind of poking their way up to the top. So all of that definitely factors in.
And I will say, obviously Halo not in, the same spot it was like year 1, year 2, as far as the hype factor around it. But I think every gamer that I've ever met, especially in the first-person shooter genre, wants Halo to succeed. So whatever the next Halo iteration is, it's gonna be big, and I can't wait for whatever that is coming up next. However, one thing I have noticed is a lot of times during the lull period, where you have players take breaks, play other games and whatnot, like a Renegade and Legend, playing Call of Duty, so on and so forth. People just taking long breaks, but you also have players that put in the work and really start to just improve, get better, and set themselves up for next game. I think of, like, for example, Bound, for example, a Legend, even Renegade in that situation toward the tail end of Halo 5, but even Drunk and Soul Snipe, plenty of others who continue to grind the game even through its lowest period in Halo 5, and look at where they are right now. I wonder if we're going to continue to see that going into next game. Maybe we'll continue to talk about last shots and the cycles and all of them for years and years to come, because of the work that they're investing in right now.
Oh, absolutely. We call it, or you mentioned the lull period, but better yet, or better way to put it, I think, would be the passion period right now.
Okay.
Passion period. And while I am also looking forward to the next game, I think the most important thing and the best thing anybody can do is you just live in the moment, right? I'm looking forward to Atlanta, right? I'm excited for Atlanta. I'm excited for these scrims to see how these players are evolving. There's stories happening all around us. So many moving pieces, so many moving parts, and when you really look in and you lock in and you're following these players and you look at the goal, which I try to see and compare and weight, like, how does Halo Fest, and so there's Birmingham, Atlanta, you have Halo Fest, and it's where is the most weight. I think Birmingham, especially with the lack of so many names, and there of course it was a super important tournament, big prize money on the line, but Atlanta is going to carry a little bit more weight here than Birmingham. Then of course we got time before the end of the year, and going into December here with Fest. So I think there's a lot to be excited for in the moment. And there's, if I think back to like last year compared to this year, I feel like, there's a lot of factors that personally involved, so I can't have an unbiased view, but the games are so exciting now, and they were like just a little lackluster, I felt like, at Halo Worlds. I didn't have, of course I was knocked out early and half of it's blocked from my mind already, but I didn't have like the excitement a lot of times where I can still jump into like another series and feel the joy and get into it, even though I had a really bad weekend. But like now with like the storylines and the ability to contend at the top, I'm excited for it, and I feel like it's even more exciting now, even though from an outside perspective maybe it's less flattering and less money on the line. But that's all the more reason why it's the passion, grassroots, organic period, which is generally always my favorite.
And honestly, I mean, with all the roster changes and teams, kind of going into this roller coaster, it's the mix-up in teams have just created, like, it's just a new storyline every single week, it feels like. And there's a new team that say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be the next one to challenge Luminon and Shopify. But then the week after, there's like somebody else. I know I'm going to be the next one to challenge Luminon and Shopify. There's been a lot of shakeups, and it's going to be excited to see what happens when we actually get to land. Like you said, Atlanta going to be very important. Now, I guess we're obviously waiting for the lobby to start up for those of y'all at home. But when we talk about preparation, we talk about practice leading up to an event. Like, through the very few events that I competed in, my practice and lead up was probably going to the bar the night before, eating the worst foods possible and whatnot. It wasn't much of the practice that someone like yourself, like with yourself being obviously a player, obviously a coach, how has that preparation, and what does a preparation for a professional team or even player like yourself look like when leading up to an event? Because, I mean, practice is important.
Hey, that's a great question, Tony, and I will get into that question. But before we do that, I think we have to jump to just a quick break when we get this sorted out, and we'll talk about that when we come back.
spinning out. Yeah, I've been staring at the ceiling, on the floor, so cold I'm shivering. The way that you leave and then come back for me. Who knows, I can't get you off of my mind. Knock me down low, then you get me so high. Get me so high. So slow, you crept up to go you have an inside point of view. You think that you command me. You think I'm gonna hate to break it to you. I don't care what you say. I'll do it anyway. Anyway, I'll do it anyway.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here it's Pro Scrim Night with Straight Rippin', and our third week in a row is going to continue to get better and better. We watch some of the best teams in the world, put some practice in, and also put a little bit of money in their pockets and put on a great show for you guys. Well, I'm Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting, and I got my man Elamite with me, and we got quite the matchup.
Absolutely, we do, Tony. We have BEPS versus KrakenSeas coming up tonight, and these are two teams. If you don't already know, which you probably should, these are the two teams contesting the two teams that have been in the grand finals every single time here. So this is the real tell, and these are two teams that are newly formed, two teams that were, almost missing in Birmingham. So definitely excited to see what they can do.
Excited indeed here. Just in the last qualifier, we saw KrakenSeas step it up big time with the acquisition of Suppressed, finishing third place and securing travel coverage for themselves. Meanwhile, BEPS showing that they need a little bit of practice here. I mean, we definitely did not see BEPS hit the exact potential that we know they're capable of. We know what their ceiling is. Now it seems it's time to raise the floor here in 2026.
Ooh, and speaking of raising that floor, you can do that with something like Sniper Camo, and that's what Zane's just got right now. Although I don't think he's even popped the camo. If we see him gonna do this, is one of the latest camo pops can imagine here, but puts BEPS in a great position as they don't even need it yet to break through hill, or at least get KrakenSeas out of the hill. That is 3 dead, last player alive on Nest. This is gonna be some free time now for BEPS.
Sniper and Camo combination, one of the deadliest combos in the league, and just see why as Penguin takes the soul of Mr. Soul Sniper, and Penguin continuing to score for BEPS. Now we see Druck and KrakenSeas. Let's actually push from the Camo side to the A side of the map. Falcated goes up to Sandbags just to have his head taken off as well. And Soul Snipe, didn't you get enough the last time? Penguin has you in his sights, and if it's not the snipe, it's the sticky grenades. My man Zane, he's going insane.
It absolutely is. What map movement we're seeing out of Penguin right now as he secures himself another kill. Look at the kill feed, or I should say the scoreboard. 7, 1, and 1. He got that camo snipe. KrakenSeas had the hill half capped. He completely took over the game, almost cycled the whole squad twice.
Back over toward Penguin. I mean, he's just been commanding respect here on the map of live fire. 7 and 1 is the start, but now the question becomes, what do you do now that you don't have the sniper in your hands? Well, apparently he's just as deadly with the bandit as he is the S7, as he takes back control of the top tower side. Finally, BEPS scoring. Once again, BEPS have this side of the map locked down, but Druck and Suppressed clearly have something to say about it. Dude, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me, Kyle.
He is not kidding you right now, because killing Frenzy should be all you need to know on how this game's starting right now. I thought there was a player behind him, maybe got taken out as well. Also, Camo just came up, so I believe BEPS is going to be locking that one down. Sniper up in 10 seconds. They got this hill a quarter of the way capped. This BEPS looks extremely organized. This is what we were missing out of BEPS so far since we've seen them playing again. They are not over-committing and running out. The amount of games from BEPS in the last two online qualifiers where they were in winning position and let it slip through their fingers is we're seeing those corrections made.
Well, you're finally able to take down Penguin off of the top tower. He was locking things down to get loud Falcated also to get away with the sniper. Big 2-piece, but still ends up being taken down courtesy of Bound from across the map. When Druck is there, though, he ends up clearing out the Nest side. Eco trying to get involved, and Druck is all over the map from the Nest side to the dummy side. He is commanding control, and now you see him on Sandbags. Druck is everywhere on the map.
Absolutely is. 3/4 or 80% or more of the way capped on this hill now with 2 dead for BEPS. I don't think they're going to be able to break this one. Should tie us up. Drunk with the repulsor, making moves around the map. Donnie or suppressed here. He's got 2 shots left to work within the snipe. Connects on 1. Takes down Eco. 2 players left playing defense here for BEPS with a flank coming in though. Nice plays from Bound. This should be some cleanups here.
Yeah, you can tell Suppress and Drunk are not happy about that. Bound just finds the weakness within their push, gets right between them, takes down both players, and continues to drive forward for a 3rd one. That is quite the life out of Bound over from the BEPS roster. Falcated looking to slow down the rest of the team here, but not able to hit that stick. Still wants to join Drunk.
Yeah, 3 down for BEPS now. Stellar was the last player alive, also gets cleaned up. This is going to be a tough spot once again. There's a lot of time to work with those, so no pressure quite yet. 15 seconds for Camo. Falcated, he was a nuisance with that QT. He's looking to keep the equipment game rolling as he's playing around this Camo. But everyone from KrakenSeas is basically down low on the map as BEPS flies in. They find a 2-for-2 trade until on the last few players here. Camo's popping. See who's able to lock that one down. Looks like Soul Snipe got that. Also in a pivotal 1v1. Not able to connect on those, but Suppress flies in for some cleanups as well. You can see now the great start here for BEPS with a quick killing frenzy from Penguin has essentially been all KrakenSeas since then.
Falcated's earlier double kill was able to allow Soul Snipe to get away with the camouflage. You see what he's been able to do since then. Navigates the 1v2 masterfully. That was Chef's kiss coming out of Soul Snipe.
You can see Bound, he's come up in a big way. He's got 12 kills, but they're not able to really get much else going here. Sniper's coming up in 10 seconds. Soul Snipe, he wants to get that. Should be running out of camo though, right when that spawns, so they won't have to worry about it too much. They do stop this hill with 99%, but as I say that, didn't stop it enough. 2-1 lead KrakenSeas.
Yeah, BEPS allowing Kraken to go back-to-back after that masterful performance they pulled over toward the green side of the map. KrakenSeas able to bounce back and showing quite the response, making a statement now is Stellar and BEPS, so you have to in order to tie things up. And this feels like what some might call a money hill. If you're able to take this mud side hill, it converts over to tower control, which is exactly what you want for top mid. It's very, very few times you're able to take a hill and then slightly move over your position and be ready for the next one.
Yeah, we were talking a lot about that in the qualifier this weekend here. This is the hill where top tower can be just the most impactful place on the game for the rest of the game starting now. There's 2 minutes left to play, so not, out of the question here, no time pressure quite yet, but by the time this hill is capped, if you aren't BEPS tying it up, you're going to be in a bad spot.
Snipe ends up in the hands of Stellar, but 2 players got to deal with both Falcon and Soul Snipe. Gonna double push and force the Sniper out of the hands of BEPS, but BEPS still scoring until Soul Snipe able to find the angle and his namesake, he's going to snipe it. You better watch out. Camouflage coming up. Suppress makes it over toward the hill. Almost about 50% done with this hill, maybe even more than that is Suppressed and the crew, but they immediately go 3 down.
I was about to say that could have been a game-changing or might be a game-changing sniper with camo coming up. A game-changing last bullet snipe, I should say. But Bound comes off spawn in B. They're able to take 3 dead, clear the hill, and they're about to cap. Now, KrakenSeas, they got the camo though, and they have a position to stop this if they immediately get over here. Someone gets boots in the hill, but Soul Snipe, I think that was the camo player, and no one else in position allows BEPS to tie this one up. Excuse me.
Suppressed taking a little bit of hill, but was down to 1 shot, so had to give up his positioning, but now a quick reposition through the pillar side. Ends up running into 2 members of BEPS on the rotation to try to make it towards Nest and force Drunk out of the tower side of the map. Luckily, feeding that information over towards Drunk, who now is focused on the fight on Nest. What does Penguin do? He responds with the skill jump, and even that is being watched. Suppressed doing a great job of suppressing Penguin. That's a double kill for him, and now you know exactly where Eco is pushing from.
Yeah, Suppress just flew into C and got a double kill out of nowhere where he could have almost easily been traded out. That's going to put KrakenSeas about to lock this one down without any time off of the game clock. A minute 33 left to play, 90% of the way. Cat Bound is on a quick flank, finds himself one. Snipe's getting ready to spawn also. This is about to be mixing.
Yeah, there's something different about Bound Screen today compared to the qualifier. He seems locked in. Every move seems like it has a direct purpose, and he seems deadly right now. If you're gonna come up with a win against BEPS, you're gonna have to try to find a way to slow down Bound. Easier said than done, but I guess that's why I'm casting and not playing.
Just disgusting map movement as we see Bound move around from the hill to bottom middle, scoreboard over to tower, not missing a shot in the process. KrakenSeas go multiple members down, but suppressed as the last player gets himself into the hill to put KrakenSeas in the lead once again.
Something interesting we're seeing right now here is a very uncharacteristic. Oh, look at this fight! Oh my gosh, an uncharacteristic like slow start for Stellar. And like very rarely do you talk about the former MVP Soulsnipe with a huge triple. And very rarely do you talk about an MVP player going 9-21 right now, especially with a map that has a sniper. Now, obviously, Penguin had it for the crew early on, but I expect Stellar to really heat up here soon.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of time left in the game to do that as Suppress gets camo, gets himself the sniper rifle, and gets a shot, make that 2 on the Penguin to eliminate him from the map. Like you said, Stellar, last player alive now. 10 kills on the board, but finds himself in a really tough spot here. Will be cleaned up. Oh, that puts Suppress grabbing 3 kills here with this snipe camo. 40 seconds left to play. Looks like they're playing time. And not a bad decision here as well, with camo still a lot to work with.
Yeah, I mean, it takes 40 seconds to take the hill, so why not play 40 seconds worth of Slayer? It's a lot easier, especially because you're not in a more predictable position. BEPS still have to try to find where that 4th person is instead of dedicating them toward the hill, so makes perfect sense. And apparently so does Suppress's Commando, which is headshots, because mine definitely doesn't work like that. Penguin and Falcon, former teammates, duking it out. Both players will trade out their lives, but every trade favors Kraken, who just keep BEPS away from the hill. Kraken taking game number 1.
Ooh, so close to being able to get in there, but the timing just didn't allow it to happen. Game number 1, like you said, going over to KrakenSeas, but pretty close game nonetheless. Couple kind of almost 100-0 hills, or at least that top middle hill was definitely kind of all KrakenSeas. That's what happens when you go 4 down trying to lock in that bottom mud hill as well. Like you pointed out, a little uncharacteristic from Stellar, but game number 1 regardless here. It takes everybody different times to get locked in, get things rolling, get the first scrim of the day underway. But one interesting thing we're seeing, and you can probably see it in the kill feed, or excuse me, in the chat at the top. Today, rather than like one player being the lobby lead and just running a set of game types as they see fit, the 2 teams are going back and forth in their game type choice. So surprising enough, game number 1 was BEPS, and we just saw that go over to KrakenSeas. So now will BEPS be able to answer back and take KrakenSeas map choice here as we head over to Aqua?
Yes, and it's interesting because there's a little bit of money on the line. Obviously, STR8 RIPPIN doing a great job of motivating some of these players to do their absolute best. But at the same time, it's still a scrim. So it feels like, what's the thought process when going into something like this? Do you put your best game mode and game time? Is that what you pick? Or do you pick the one that maybe you need the most work on? Well, seeing that BEPS picked that live fire King of the Hill and ended up losing a nice close one, I would actually edge on the side of, maybe that's one they want to practice and get better on. And what better way to do that than to continuously play it against some of the best teams in the league? Obviously do a little bit of VOD review and figure out how you want to attack some of these weak points or some of these disadvantage points so you can somehow turn those weaknesses into strengths.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. I'd have to ask the teams and players kind of see what their thought process is when they are deciding how they want to approach the game type order. Is it something you put in the first half of the rotation when you're just coming into the scrim, where you either need to get warmed up or you're playing at your best? Kind of different thought processes, or towards the later half You know, you can make an argument for depending on what everyone's thinking here. But as we see in this game, Stellar, he's going to walk away with that first camo. This is KrakenSeas game choice, so BEPS has got to be feeling good about the start here at least. Stellar in the battle gets traded out car 3. That one's going to hurt a little bit. You'd like to see those camos be used more, like we saw from KrakenSeas in game number 1. But as you see the scoreboard, Penguin 4-1 off to another nice start.
So Penguin here wants to really claim control of this top car side. Notices that Soul Snipe and Kraken are really favoring the P side and a weak side push. He's gonna try to take advantage of that. Penguin trying to go at Soul Snipe, eventually finds the headshot. A little bonus damage onto Falcon. It allows Bound to sneak in real quick and get his, and Bound turns it into a dirty double.
Bound, his shot is on fire today, absolutely. We've been on board with him a few times, and every single time he's pulling off multi-kills, having some shots, you know, coming away from bad positions with a win in those pivotal fights. Camo's going to be up in 35 seconds. Flag was pulled, but nobody got in position to run it. Suppress, you can see, he's just chasing. Suppress is somebody that does not want to let you get away.
Hunted him down here, and looks like Soul Snipe doing the exact same thing. Finds a weakened Stellar, able to get the kill, and burns a couple of thrusts for his troubles. Burns the first one, but has another one for mid-fight. As Eco has his shield shredded, Falcon, the rest of KrakenSeas start to take space. Suppressed already in the utility side. Soul Snipe joins him real quick. They continue to work a 1-2 combo, baiting and switching, and Eco ends up just being a part of a Soul Snipe highlight reel. Triple out of him. Penguin is feeling the pain as well, and while all this chaos is happening, that flag is on the move. That flag is practically home, actually. I think it might have got stopped in bottom car. Wow.
Yeah, not only did it get stopped, but I think Penguin, who came off spawn, took 3 before he did anything, but still managed to fight his way out. A couple trades come in. This flag returning would be wild, but as we say that, it's been pretty mixy here back and forth, and there will be another pull on that. Not sure anyone from BEPS is going to be able to get in position to stop this one.
Suppressed. Picking up exactly where he left off here. That flag stopped over toward the bottom car side, but relayed over on the back base. He gets his shields back. Teammate is there for the curb slide and to punch in the first flag cap of the game, going towards KrakenSeas. And Suppressed, despite being weak, still able to get his onto Penguin. Eventually, the final 2 members of BEPS claim control of car and are doing a great job clearing out the base and the top mid.
Lots of trades coming out here towards car. We saw Stellar get 2 with some really nice shots top mid, but ultimately non-stop trades back and forth. If anything, KrakenSeas, we're seeing plays from like Soul Snipe, Suppress. They're getting so much damage per life here in some of these situations. It's only resulted in 1 flag capture, but you can just see most of the game has been played here on BEPS' side of the map.
Curb slides the flag right out to Suppressed. Doesn't let it go over towards the mid side. Brings it back towards Util. And maybe enough time for Eco to not only get involved, get the slays, 4 down, go KrakenSeas. That's a counter pull.
Counter pull, exactly, and as it's moving very quickly through car 1, you've got Eco here in car playing some defense. He picks up a pivotal win. 2 go down for KrakenSeas, and just like that, we're all tied up once again. Eco, after getting that win, keeps his life, still playing over here towards Util. Another pull comes in as that trade happens. That 1 or 2 more go down like this, we may be looking at an opportunity to keep moving this one forward.
Gotta be real careful. Momentum just shifts in an instant. Even though KrakenSeas were able to get that flag back towards their Util, they go 4 down, the counter pull goes in, and just like that, we have a tied up game of 1 apiece. As I say that, a double kill from Suppressed leads BEPS to be 4 down, so now a counter to the counter pull comes KrakenSeas.
Not only that, Druck escapes with camo here top middle. Takes a little bit of damage, but it's going to be easy pickings with flag being out for BEPS. They're forced to play in a position, forced to play out on the map here, but go 4 dead. This one will surely be going in.
Flag still moving, and so is Eco. Over on the back lines here, you might want to clear out your back base as Kraken punch in that one. And Falcon is still looking around here. looking for Eco, ends up finding Stellar. Nice little trade. Eco over on the car side, and there's a player right under him. Oh, he's not aware of it. He's gonna find out the hard way. Druck hits him with a hot 5.
As you can see, Druck picks up one, immediately looking for the following kills here. Playing a great position from bottom middle, almost gets bound, but bound, he's just been too slippery today. Walks around with another win as he pushes aggressively here into the flag. You've got Soul Snipe playing some defense, somehow walks away with a trade there. Great play from Soul Snipe to pull one out of his hat.
2-1 lead in favor of KrakenSeas, but Eco and BEPS starting a flagpole right over toward the util side. Suppress the only player within striking distance of that flag, but you got 2 players you got to deal with before you can even touch Eco, who punches in their second flag to tie things up. Suppress still lives over toward the back util side, and he's finding the weakened players as well. Oh, if he would have stayed alive, would have been even better, but Falcated with the push, and Falcated gets put down.
Yeah, and even though you just saw 4 down for BEPS, they were able to score the flag and trade out well enough to at least buy time for respawn. Soul Snipe was the last player alive, was able to push up here into util, but you can see BEPS, they weren't trapped in their base at all after that. As a matter of fact, even though they were 4 down, they're the first one across the map.
Back on board here with a one-shot Falcated. Stellar gonna cross-map him. KrakenSeas want to break out of the util side and want to stop the flag, but that flag is already long gone. What a play by BEPS. Now it's KrakenSeas with their backs against the wall.
Backs against the wall, but Camo spawning now. Soul Snipe quickly on his way over, trying to contest this. Wins a nice pivotal 1v1 onto Bound, but Bound takes him those shields and lets Stellar lock in that camo. Now Stellar, he didn't have the most success with camo earlier in the game, but will he be able to put this one more to use? Walks away with 2 this time, but still, you'd almost like to see a little bit more.
Meanwhile, Bound, we talked about it in game number 1. You talked about it here in game number 2. He is locked in, and man, when he's shooting like this, the enemy team is going to have a tough time because it's not even the shot you have to worry about most. It's the movement, it's the aggression, it's the mindset of a player like Bound. There's no other like it. As he goes in for the challenge, it takes 2 just to take him down, and when you dedicate that much resources, a lot of times going to be on the defense. Oh.
Suppress just flying into the base, literally here. Does get taken out. Penguin versus Falcated. Penguin wins that. Some help coming in. Druck forced to run away, and Bound, who we just saw in the base, is already in the base again. I don't think anybody covers more ground. You know, one stat I always would love to have seen put into a game, Tony, would be distance traveled in a game.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if there'd be much contending with the likes of Bound, man. He
if he had a
takes a
step
whole lot of
watch on
space
right now, you know, like a Fitbit or something, and at the end of each game, it's like steps taken. You'd have like most people at like 2,000, 2,500, Bound at like 10K.
I'm trying to get my 10K steps a day. Bound gets it within half a game as Flag's still on the move for KrakenSeas. Over in the back base is Soul Snipe, and nobody really putting down some long-range damage in because of that. Soul Snipe tied things up at 3 apiece and also immediately defended the util side. KrakenSeas looking confident.
Oh, absolutely. Even though they found themselves in a poor couple situations and counter caps being involved, hasn't discouraged them yet. Still playing super aggressive here on the map. Bound. Oh my. Somehow this guy just lives longer than any other player right now. 2 players shooting him at in util. Still takes them both. No shields. Camo spawning in 5 seconds. Eco gets cleaned up. Penguin, though, he may be able to grab this. Goes a little too early, and it results in him not being able to grab that, but I think he burnt it.
A little less than 2 minutes of regulation right now here, and we're still tied up at 3 apiece at the moment. Little fisty cuffs lands a grenade, little Marty Dom action as Falcated and Druck having Stellar in his sights on the P side. Throughout the P side, KrakenSeas don't mind playing from the weak side into the util side of the map, from the weak to the strong side. They don't mind playing P, or at least starting their pushes on P Street.
A lot of battles going over here towards car side as you see 3 members from KrakenSeas forced their way through into blue utility, putting them position in the flag ground. And I can see both teams, they're not just going to kind of run in willy-nilly here and go for these flag pulls. With only a minute left on the clock, they know the next flag cap may be the one to determine the game.
Right to util we go. Could be the final one they need. Stellar, though, he ends up getting caught out before getting his shields back here, and everybody is downrange. Maybe you can cross-map a flag carrier or two, but there's 3 different members of KrakenSeas that are surrounding this flag, and every single player that's trying to find an angle on the flag carrier is just getting shredded. Melted Stellar might just be the only chance, the last chance to try to stop this flag, and he's one shot. Penguin trying to pull up from the rear. Has to start the return. A nade lands perfectly, and the flag is still alive, suppressed. Gonna try to relay it forward. He's one shot, no problem. Oh my gosh. It's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem, but if you just look at the respawns and the trades, it's just going a little bit too well in KrakenSeas' favor. And on top of that, the amount of time wasted trying to force that return might have been better to just let them have that cap and try to play a counter yourself, because BEPS not able to get that returned or play a good enough position to kind of keep the flag pull alive. And just like that, they are down 2-0 now in the open this scrim.
And honestly, I think KrakenSeas played that a lot more interesting than I've noticed. A lot of teams played that with the 29 kills from Falcated, 27 out of Solstar with 11 assists, and right behind him, Suppressed 26 with 10 assists. Love the combination of the 20 bombs and the high assist from everybody on the side of KrakenSeas, just showing that that teamwork is truly what makes the dream work. But the one thing that I found to be a little bit interesting from KrakenSeas is how much time they spent like fighting from P and then taking over car. A lot of times, a lot of teams would like double back through their base, play their util, play util to car, and we saw them eventually get car control. But it seemed like they didn't mind sending 2 people P and then fighting for the mid map afterwards. I found that interesting. Maybe I need to implement that into my own gameplay.
Yeah, I think for both of these teams, the goal there is, you spawn util, you spawn P, you're moving forward on the map. Like a lot, you definitely have to go back and clear out your base in many cases. I think that's one of the things that maybe came back to bite some of the teams here, or both teams in that game, as it was very close, right up. Obviously we saw a game, a 1 second cap to win the game. But yeah, you just want to mainly make sure that the game and the action is taking place on the enemy team side of the map, unless you have your flag out, like in that last scenario, the enemy team's flag in your base. And eventually, if you just trade out enough kills, the respawn distance you have to travel just allows the team that's closer to win out in the end. And that's every game type, really. And if you're focusing on trying to get your teammates the better spawns, because you can influence your team's spawns, based on where you are on the map, then that's what we end up seeing. And one of the higher level kind of things you can incorporate into a team and tournament to come away with these wins.
We're going to find out exactly if that same kind of strategy will rear its head again, or will things change up completely different, because Oddball, a much different game type, but still a game type that a lot of these teams, that even when they have a setup, they still want to take space. They still want to influence spawns. They still want to spawn trap. It feels like in season 1, it was like maybe like a camp fest, or kind of camping around the Oddball. But in season 5, it's take space, find out where the enemy team is spawning, and like collapse on them, especially with a lot of our top teams.
Oh yeah, you can see this late into the game, you want to play the numbers advantage and make sure you're using it the best of your advantage, especially with the maps now, some of the newer maps, the different angles and lines of sight that you can acquire in a game will allow you to really start abusing spawners. I think if you going back and watching that game over, if you notice some of the scenarios where we did have KrakenSeas playing in BEPS's utility super hard, like Soul Snipe, for example, getting that triple kill, he was just putting so much damage down on the spawners, because there was someone also in the base of BEPS blocking the flag spawn. So if you're able to eliminate a lot of these spawn points and start abusing teams with keeping good lines of sight like Soul Snipe had, who gets a triple kill, it was guaranteed those kind of flag caps.
Yeah, I was really excited to see like how you can just respond to call outs, look at exactly what every team is spawning, and just react. And the moment they come off a spawn, you're getting punished. I mean, when you have Soul Snipe literally watching from util and ego challenging you for a triple kill, and it continues to put down that pressure. Like if I'm on the receiving end of that, I'm mentally chalked. I'm like, God. I'm like, can I spawn for a second, man? But that's what it's like. If you go 3 or 4 down against some of the best teams in the world, they're gonna make you pay. And that's when bad usually turns to worse because it's not just that 3 or 4 down. Is what happens after that. Are you getting spawn trapped? Are you being enclosed in an area where it's exactly where your opponent wants you to be? It's not just a 3 or 4 down. It's really what happens after that that really matters. Well, we switch things over from capture the flag to oddball. I would say stylistically wise, like what's some of the major differences that we're going to see as far as ideology when going into an oddball versus going into a capture the flag for some of our newer Halo enjoyers.
Absolutely. So, you know, when you get into these games in esports, right? There's different ranks, and at different ranks, there's different kind of thought processes a lot of the times involved, and what you can do in a game. And one of the most beautiful things about competitive esports tournaments is when it's like the 8 best players in the game in one lobby playing against each other. That's when it's just incredible, like the most incredible to watch, and everything leading up and building into that kind of helps develop the storylines and part of the the beauty around it as well. Oddball and any specific game type, the different weapons, equipment, objectives determine like where the action and flow of the map should be heading. And when you're able to get any advantage on the map and use that, that's how you win, and win by big advantages. Oddball, that's one of the maps where you can force the action to take place wherever you want it based on your ball movement and rotations. Where on different strongholds or you're looking at the capture the flag, it's the same locations that are generally the strongest. But on a recharge, oddball, or any oddball, it's wherever you want to make it.
And both teams are going to have to really be responsible for taking down one side of the map, controlling it, and what happens when, what you do with that control. Big stick coming out of Soul Snipe. And Druck by himself, you see him pegging over here, but the reinforcements are not here. Suppressed and Falcade are going to try to make their way through A. So what does Druck have to do? He has to drop the ball. He has to win a clutch 1v1. That ain't bad coming out of Big Druck.
Yeah, great opening start here for KrakenSeas. They take several, opening kills here onto BEPS, as well as escaping with the ball, putting quick early 20 seconds on the board here almost. Druck in another 1v1 top gold, but looks like BEPS, they were kind of a little shaky on some of the shots to start this one, but things are getting locked in. They are able to stop that ball time. They put 3 dead for KrakenSeas, and they've got eyes on this player here towards C. He should not be able to get away with anything here. Last 2 still in front of Bound, who does get cleaned up, but this is what we're talking about with the action on the map. Him dying, or Bound dying over here towards Long Haul, it's not going to really matter if their BEPS and the rest of the crew here play the ball accordingly.
Trying to rotate this ball away from the pressure here. So what do Falcade and KrakenSeas do? They cut right through the middle of the map and end up slaying BEPS out 4 down.
Yep, and that's exactly what KrakenSeas needed to do. Cut the map, get right to the ball. You can see as long as they overwhelmed them in numbers, they really weren't able to get much time out of that hold either here. Look at the kill feed. Another perfect kill comes in from Druck, which is going to be suppressed skew to push into A, getting the flank on these early spawners.
It was like a 33-19 lead in favor of KrakenSeas still, but BEPS are continuing to put the pressure on them. And as I say that, Suppress still claiming control of the gold side of the map. And with the green gun, gets the edgy one against Penguin. And I thought, maybe I'd have thought that was a sticky, because that would have been real nice. Bound still survives, gets the cleanup, and more importantly, gets the ball.
It gets the ball, but Falcade in here with shock rifle gets the grapple. Such a close shot. You can see Bound taking no shields, but his movement, his crouches, his little side steps, he just always makes it so difficult to get that headshot. Suppressed almost escapes with camo, but Stellar also hunts him down. That's going to be BEPS here taking the lead in this game and maintaining control.
a high-risk maneuver for Stellar to try to go to the mid-map to try to secure that double kill, but in order to get camouflage off the map, I'm sure he thinks it was worth it, especially if he was able to survive for as long as he did. Bound comes in with the shock and is barely missing a beat whatsoever this entire series. 9 and 6 at the moment. And man, wait, is that another shock? Wait, what? Why is there a shock rifle up?
Yeah, a new shock coming up as well. So this one has been in use for quite some time. Bound's gonna say, give me that ammo here, and still fighting out, but suppressed. He has had enough and is gonna come out with the win on this one. Penguin, he's got the ball and he's taking it into gold, but he's getting collapsed on. Really has no options here. Doing the best he can to buy time. Maybe trade out a kill. Won't be able to do so, but it does buy enough time here. Sorry for now Penguin to come in. That was Stellar before. To clean up some of these kills, grab some additional ball time. Now Suppressed had that snipe, so I want to make sure we can get that out of his hands. But playing it from gold, that's probably one of the hardest places to make snipe be useful from.
Was a momentary 3 down for KrakenSeas. Druk still not wasting any time whatsoever and still getting as aggressive as possible and almost yo, that was close to a ninja on Bound there, but Druk eventually gets the cleanup courtesy to a little bit of a team grenade there, and Soul Snipe, he says thank you for the ball.
Wow, great play by Soul Snipe. I really like that grapple decision to just immediately go for the ball. Back to the concept of where the action is going to take place. He forces BEPS to have to push in through gold pipes because of that ball grapple. But however, BEPS has got no problem doing so as Penguin picks up a ridiculous triple kill to lock down control, gets rewarded with the new shock rifle, and still has one grapple to work with.
Penguin with some icy plays here and continues to do so. One shot falcated over toward the low ground, and looks like Soul Snipe trying to use that shroud to stay alive here, shooting the pad. High IQ play does get the chain reaction. Somehow Stellar and BEPS still scoring.
Yeah, BEPS has had ball in gold this whole time, while all the action has been taking place bottom, middle, trying to contest camos, but that is going to be what BEPS wants and needs to come away with round number 1 win. They only need 15 more points to score. Suppressed just found himself as the last player alive. I don't even think he's over here towards pipes, but BEPS very scared that he is. They finally pick up ball, and as they sit here, they should be able to walk away with this one pretty easily.
Oh, okay, Stellar. Putting the exclamation point on that one with a huge double kill, just like my man Reclaimer in the chat, dropping the sub, and those sub alerts, okay. All right, I see you straight ripping.
Straight ripping, stepping it up on the sub alerts, and Reclaimer, shout out to you as well. We appreciate the support. Of course, as we go back into now round number 2 here. Camo being grabbed by Suppressed. Penguin's looking for the kill on that. An unbelievable escape by Suppressed. I cannot believe he just got away with that one.
Well, with KrakenSeas freshly putting BEPS 4 down right there and getting away with the camouflage, I can't think of a better time to hop in with the listener with Kraken. You need this round win. Let's hop into those comms.
Fight door on top A.
On you.
One shot. Batteries.
I think he's shot.
Needles challenge. 2 shots in, 3 shots in.
He went pipe door, one shot, turn around.
Nice.
Top A cat in, top A cat.
Yeah, top it. I'm on.
Got him?
Nice.
Is
Like a
Are they
mango.
cutting batteries or something?
I want your mango, Mike.
Yo,
One's in red,
top
one's in red.
Fuck me, I gotta back up.
Nice.
Another
Top
guy
red.
red. Your battery's skinny.
Now Zane.
Got a quick glimpse into the comms right there, and KrakenSeas, they're motivated. They're definitely clean with the comms, and I will say, normally a little bit more frantic, I would say, in the past, but right now KrakenSeas definitely sound a lot more decisive and a lot more organized right here in year 5, and I'm liking the calmness. Kind of like a calm in the storm type of thing with KrakenSeas now. I like the comms now.
Yeah, it definitely seemed pretty calm. Like it was, guy here, locate A, top A. just, they know they're getting constant pressure and damage down on the map, and they're all moving around so well, kind of collapsing on some of these spawns. With 3 dead now, Druck, last player alive, is forced into gold, no shields. The rest of the players spawning long haul. He does get cleaned off here from control. Penguin, with the new plasma pistol, wants to lock down some of these kills into long haul. Able to connect on that first shot onto his former teammate Falcated, but it does open up the map for Bound to get the ball and a quick perfect kill here in the feed.
As Bound rotates the ball, hits a hot 5, Soul Snipe, brings the ball away from them, but eventually Stellar and Bound double push them right out, and now it's ball back in the hands of BEPS, who are scoring once again, and also grabbing Camouflage. Druck is able to get the cleanup on, so Camo is not in play at the moment, and BEPS feel like they have to slay again, which they're pretty darn good at.
Absolutely are. Stellar tries to get the Shroud play and escape with the ball, but not able to do so. Falcated comes in for support as well and cleans up to himself. Sniper spawned just now. Ball being grabbed by Kraken. You've got members of BEPS here spread out through the map. We're seeing some solid teamwork come in. Bound grabs himself another kill. Make that 2 as he gets cleaned up. But that's 3 dead now for KrakenSeas. Great shots from Soul Snipe. Grabs a triple somehow. Almost an overkill. If that plasma stuck him, just imagine.
23 points here for KrakenSeas. BEPS the one scoring and rotating the ball away from where the pressure is coming from Kraken. Suppressed may have the shock, but BEPS rotating all the way toward the blue side, which apparently is exactly where Falcated wanted them. Falcated forcing that ball off the map. KrakenSeas still holding on to a lead.
Yeah, great play by Falcated, but almost even better play by Stellar. He gets the ball off the map and throws the fadeaway sticky to take Falcated out, who was hiding their back seat. 10-point lead now still for KrakenSeas. Ball, however, is in Turbine. That's going to force a push here. BEPS doing their best to try to hold on through this pressure to go down. Soul Snipe, however, on a great flank into A, grabs himself a cleanup, finds himself in a pivotal 1v1 here, but not a 1v1. As there's some teamwork and fellow teammates flying in for the help. Penguin, he doesn't want to play that fight into A. He wants to force the rotation into gold. Oh my goodness, Bound. This guy is just a madman.
He's not done. He's not done. Oh, Druck. Better be careful. Almost end up on a highlight reel. And kind of what you were alluding to, that was kind of really all Penguin. Penguin grabbing the ball in a disadvantageous position, bringing it gold, dropping it, baiting Krakens in, just enough damage put down so that Bound comes in with a triple kill and looks like the hero that he is. I gotta give a shout out to the unselfish play of Penguin, because like you were kind of saying, he started that. He's the reason for that.
You know, another thing to point out as far as the points, because Penguin's got 52 and counting. Stellar, 65 points. He's actually leading BEPS here as far as ball time goes. Bound, 28 kills. We can see Bound, he's been such just a menace on the map. That triple kill just a moment before was absolutely disgusting and is the reason BEPS finds himself in the lead.
Stellar going for the sprint strafe. Okay. Not able to take down Suppressed, though. Eventually 4 down, go BEPS. And look how quickly they claim control of the gold side, and Suppressed taking space. He knows that BEPS is going to be spawning over towards A. He would love to pinch from the backside.
Great play by Bound, though. That is not an easy kind of engagement to walk away with a trade in there, but does get it. That's going to put Falcated back. See, with 3 members of BEPS flying through. They don't even want to fight him, though. With such little time left on the clock, they elect to not engage with Falcated and just go all the way towards the ball immediately. And it's going to turn out to be a great decision as they clear out ball, get some extra time on the board. Falcated's then forced to give up his position in C and gets killed trying to rotate across the map.
Druck in the 1v1. Oh, but Bound just doesn't miss. Penguin still scoring at the moment here, and now KrakenSeas must be feeling some of that pressure. 37 seconds left in neutral time. You're also down in points. A big double kill and a triple kill by Suppressed might be exactly what the doctor ordered. This could have been absolutely so much worse for KrakenSeas, but then Suppressed introduced himself to the fight.
that was game, set, and match before Suppressed found his way into gold and walked away with a triple kill. It's also a brand new shock rifle they get rewarded with as well. Now they're still down by 10 seconds with 20 left on the clock, but I take this position any day. Eco was the last player alive and somehow got himself a kill. That might be their saving grace if they're able to break this setup.
Still scoring a soul snipe and KrakenSeas. Shock in his hands, but not able to find the exact value that he's looking for. Look how close this match is. Drunk with the double kill gives KrakenSeas the numbers advantage. They have to get that ball, at least have to get the lead before BEPS decide to push through the blue side. Penguin is here. So is the rest of BEPS. 3 down, go Kraken, and that's it. Oh. Wow.
That was great. I mean, I was back and forth all the way down to the wire. I actually don't even know how BEPS got away with that win. You know, they had it in the bag, and then within Suppressed triple kill, somehow they kind of put themselves then into winning position. If they had never moved that ball out of gold, like I wonder if they would have been able to just hold that a little bit better. At the same time, though, shout out Precision coming in with the raid as well. Welcome, welcome everyone.
Ethan. Everybody on BEPS really stepping up, though. Did I say Penguin dropping 20 assists? I see the 8,600 damage by Stellar, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, so Penguin drops 20 assists, Stellar and Bound combined for 65 freaking kills. Like, just everybody really doing their part. Eco with this amount of kills and assists as well. This is, I mean, this is BEPS. This is what we wanted to see from this roster for quite some time. And with them putting in the work in the scrims, absolutely incredible. Just like Envor coming in with the raid as well. Thank you so much, Precision. Thank you so much, Envor. Huge fan of both of y'all. And hopefully the scrim went really good. Get some valuable some VOD sessions in from that, I'm sure, as BEPS and Kraken are going at it. BEPS on the series board.
Yeah, some of the best Halo action we've had in quite some time. Shout out again on Vorn Precision. Welcome all the new viewers, and appreciate the new GOATs making their way to the top here in the scene as well. Super excited to see everybody putting in the work and it really paying off, especially those two guys. We are getting ready for the next game as well. What do you got for us, Tony?
I mean, it actually ain't on me. It's actually up to the players, by the way, guys. I didn't get the chance to see what happened in the chat, but I do want to remind you guys, so we're not playing with a set series layout. We're not playing with just, one man chooses every single game mode and map combination. They're flipping back and forward. This actually started off with BEPS having first pick and have been going back and forward with the game modes and game types. We still don't know exactly the strategy one's using. Like, we know there's a little bit of money on the line. We know Penguin be hitting shots just like that, but we don't know if they're electing to pick their favorite game modes and map combinations, or if they're picking the ones they need the most practice in. Because again, the winner of the quote-unquote winner of the scrim will get some money in each and every one of their pockets.
Absolutely will. This is not just a normal everyday scrim that we're looking at. This is the straight scrim, or this is a cash grab here for these players. As you can see here, they've got money on the line here, and one of the coolest things I think that's being incorporated today here, especially by the players, is the back and forth map rotation picks. That we've had picks and bans in Halo in the past, although short-lived at times. There's been discussions around it for Infinite in many occasions as well. But as of this point, essentially, I think it's just always been, a party leader for one of the team members kind of choosing the game type. And there's some consistency to the orders. There's been discussions around why live fire or oddball is one of the ones we see early on a lot of times. But this is a cool dynamic that we like to see.
And also, Drunk having a sniper is also a cool dynamic that I like to see personally, as he goes down to one shot, but a confident repulse going in for knowledge and potentially a reach out. Stellar wanted to chow out Suppressed there, and Drunk ends up in the middle of two different one-shot players, navigates it extremely well, ends up wasting the final bullet of that sniper. KrakenSeas on the triple cap.
You can see Draki grabs the double, but he is immediately looking to continue the spree, and that's how all these players are playing, and everyone kind of at the top. You want to always be impactful, being useful on the map, kind of outputting that damage. You can see Penguin and Bound both starting off this game really well at 5 apiece, but it's been with 4 going down here and a triple cap in effect for KrakenSeas. BEPS is finding themselves in trouble.
Druk holding down Bravo here with the QT. Alpha is starting to be taken, and Druk wants to apply a bit of pressure, including the quantum translocation, in order to kind of throw off the rest of BEPS. And honestly, it might have worked, because that's, I was going to say a momentary 3 down, but of course, Stellar's not losing any 1v1s. That's on me. My bad, my bad.
We got new sniper coming up in 10 as well, but even with those picks, not going to be enough to stop the scoring here for KrakenSeas. Soul Snipe, he's got that camo. He's going to want to play for the sniper as well here. As we see, Stellar, he gets cleaned up, trying to play some defense. You have the rest of BEPS moving out, but that exposes the A hill, and Suppress almost escaping with camo. Nice cleanup here from Eco.
Soul Snipe down with the snipe in his hands. Is in the back pocket. Finds 2 players over toward the scoreboard side. So high IQ play to just get out of that situation. Find an entirely new angle. One that maybe you can find the advantage by with a huge body shot. Soul Snipe should have been dead maybe 2 or 3 times at the moment, but still has 7 bullets in the sniper and is alive and kicking.
Connects on the first body shot. Sweep takes that 2 as he walks top middle. You saw the 3rd player walk by. Make that 3. Absolutely disgusting plays with the sniper from none other than Soul Snipe.
Mikey showing what he can do with the sniper, and man, if you got Soul Snipe flying like that, BEPS, you are in trouble. You're already down 68 to 196 and quite the hole at the moment here, and KrakenSeas just seemingly having your number over and over again. Stellar wants to try to make something happen, and even that was unfortunate. Suppress using the cover perfectly. Stellar ends up punching the wall.
Yeah, great play by Suppress to extend his life, walk away with that 1v1. That makes Penguin have to spend a lot of extra time killing him and gets just a few extra points on the board for KrakenSeas. We'll see if that comes back to bite them at all. As you see, Eco pushing into A, walks away with 1, not able to get the double and the cap. So crucial 1v1 Piv 1 here by Suppressed.
Not done just yet. Gonna battle it out with the former teammate in Penguin. Nade goes down here. Carbine still in the back pocket. Elected to go with the Bandit. That's because his Bandit is mean. Penguin finds out. Eco tries to get involved, but you're gonna run into Falcon and 2. That's the staying alive. That's the Bandit switching that you want to see. Momentary 4 down for BEPS. Kraken scoring? Or at least getting camo.
Yeah, they weren't able to secure C in that kind of engagement, so that's going to hurt them really badly. Stellar gets cleaned up immediately. Soul Snipe has camo over here towards tower. It's an AC AC setup, and all of BEPS either in the respawn screen or just kind of battling out from a bad position here. This is going to be their last opportunity to break. You can see them getting into C, but KrakenSeas, they don't want to play any kind of engagements that they don't like, especially with camo here. They're just going to sneak B right back in their hands, and there's nothing BEPS can do.
240 points and counting. BEPS have to not only get the kills, but then just straight line it into a base. Soul Snipe's able to take down Stellar, but Bound does make it through, so they start Alpha, leaving Bravo as the only base so far acquired for KrakenSeas. Bound on the challenge with Druk. Fearless as ever, but does have to back down to try to get his shields right back. As BEPS are scoring, it's not a terrible situation, but on the kill feed, starting to light up in yellow, Kraken starting to find their kills.
Penguin has the sniper. We're going to need to see some of the Soul Snipe action out of him if they're going to get back into this game, but he can't find anything. C's going to flip back over to KrakenSeas as Bound is securing himself B. It's a mixy situation, a quick little kind of hill rotation scenarios going on, but with Stellar finding himself a double, could a triple cap, I mean, a triple cap is really what we need to see from BEPS to get back into it. As we say that, Stellar, last person alive, a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. Not able to connect on the shots, though.
Yeah, we're watching that from Stellar's point of view, and you thought BEPS would have the advantage after the double kill, but the rest of his teammates were just falling, and eventually he was the final player alive, and KrakenSeas used the numbers, closed it out beautifully. Strongholds has always been one of their stronger game modes, especially when talking about is Soul Sniper and Druck, even going back to the Halo 5 days, so not surprised they were able to win a fairly quick live fire Strongholds, and with Soul sniping like that, 20-9. 13.0 KDA. That is something special.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at the damage here as well. Almost 5K, almost or over almost 800 damage more than anyone else in the lobby. I felt like that game really came down to the snipers. The couple of plays from Soul Snipe, that triple kill was the nail in the coffin at the end of the day. Being able to turn those scenarios around, lock down camos from bad scenarios. It's exactly kind of what they need, or the way you can play the Strongholds especially. You can just dominate a team. You get the triple caps, you keep them on their back foot the entire game. And when they do get positioned, you're just rotating the hills. As long as you're kind of playing that correctly and just not making it too complicated, it's really hard to battle back.
Yeah, and you mentioned before, the sniper definitely being a huge influence within that game. And mind you, on the side of BEPS, Stellar won an MVP based on his sniping. We saw what Penguin could do in that game number 1, starting off with a killing frenzy, and it was largely because of that sniper. You have people that are able to really step it up with the sniper on the side of BEPS, but and then you got to get out of the hands of Kraken. You got to find a way to get it first, stay alive, and not give it to the likes of Soul Snipe. He has Snipe in his name. Of course he's going to be taking heads off, so got to find a way to clean that up, and maybe you're able to do that here on Lattice. And actually, King of the Hill, normally both teams kind of favor fighting for the hill first, but with how well Soul Snipe's been playing for the S7, I'm not surprised he's going and fighting early for it.
Yeah, I was going to say as well, it's very fitting. We're seeing Soul Snipe go and contest the sniper off the start of this game. It's obviously in his name. We saw what he was doing with it last game. And that's another one of the reasons why we've seen him on top teams for so long. He's kind of been the sniper for that squad. Like, even back on the KCP days, we've seen him just be such a nuisance with this weapon.
Momentary 2 down for each team here. Soul Snipe was the man of the hour last game. Well, now he's the man of the respawn screen, at least for the next 10 seconds or so. Falcated winning a 1v1 against Stellar, and bodies are hitting the floor right now. Drowning Pool would be extremely proud. Bunch of chaos, bound with a double, able to put some extra damage onto Druck, and both teams just trading out blows.
Yeah, but Penguin, he found his way to that sniper rifle. Picks up one early kill, which will result in the last 2 members of KrakenSeas trapped in blue. Falcated found his way to bottom middle, but with Suppress being taken out, might not be as great of a spot as he initially had hoped. I like the way they're pushing Zane or Penguin back here, forcing him to relocate. He doesn't spot the flank through top, middle, and gets taken out.
Nice shots by Soul Snipe, easy cleanup. Half the members of BEPS go down here, and it's going to activate KrakenSeas. They're not going to slow down, not going to give you any free space whatsoever. Penguin, the first one to come off a spawn, does do enough damage to pull Druck away from that angle, and then Penguin catching an entirely new one. We see Bound now, the most forward player on the map. Falcated was over toward the top mid side, but had no idea that Bound has come, and Bound is here to lay down the law. Nade looking good. Soul Snipe still healthy. Oh, that's until you catch the elbow of Bound, and the reach out is enough damage for Eco to come in for the clean.
I mean, Bound has just got to be one of the hardest kills to get in the game every single time, regardless of how much shield he even has. When he's no shields, it seems like he's just even harder to kill than when he's full health somehow. And you can see his finessing on the stairs is just, just some of the best map movement in the game.
Yeah, you gotta have confidence in your shot if you're gonna somehow play better when you're weak like that. But Bound definitely one of the most confident players in the league, and he plays like it. Soul Snipe and Falcated on the push. immediately able to clean up Penguin, but Bound sitting confidently in the middle of both players, trying to navigate the fight, but just double pushed right out. Eco not able to escape as well, but now a staggered BEPS who've just gone 3 down, make it 4. Suppressed gets the sniper. KrakenSeas could be putting their first hill on the board. Oh,
And I thought Stellar spawning really forward up in blue base here might have been their saving grace, but he gets double no-scoped by Suppressed and taken out. 3 dead though, however, for BEPS. With Hill across the map, that will be locked in here, and the game tied up once again. Now Sniper, it was down kind of just below Eco on that blue streak. Looks like Stellar was the one to be able to walk away with that one, but not able to get any kills.
a lot of body shots connecting here, but not able to find the headshots with the bandit nor the snipe in. 4 down, go KrakenSeas. BEPS now gets to widen their influence on the map here, really start to cover more ground. The moment KrakenSeas spawned up, you see the reticles trained on him almost immediately. Truck could be next, but Falcade is getting involved. Stellar not able to find the headshot, and is that the lane that KrakenSeas create so they can get back toward the hill?
It looks like it will open that up a little bit here for them. 2v2 scenario, Penguin trying his best to escape. Falcated hunting him down. Will walk away with that kill and leave Stellar as the last player alive, who likes to play aggressively here. Has 2 players right in front of him. Gets 1 and QT's out. Somehow gets 3 shots onto another player. Great damage coming out of Stellar.
Big damage. Teammates are able to clean that up, and that's exactly what you want to see from a player like that. You're really your entry fragger, loves going in, loves putting out damage, loves winning fights as well as Penguin. Somehow find an angle onto Soul Snipe. KrakenSeas immediately losing 2 members here. Suppressed just about gets his shields back, but not in enough time to stop BEPS from taking their second hill in the lead.
Big battles going out here towards QT, but 4 alive, 3 dead for BEPS. Once again, going to find themselves in a tough position. Having the lead, they're going to have some flexibility, though, on these pushes. Suppress gets caught out a little bit too far. Not expecting so many players from BEPS over here towards Ice. The trades are coming in once again. Both these teams not afraid to kind of push out, fight for middle map control. Penguin versus Falcated also results in a trade. And at the end of the day, Bound is the one that finds his feet in the hill.
Plenty of time on the board here, though, for both of these squads. A little bit less than 3 minutes. This next hill usually takes a lot of time, though, and if you're KrakenSeas, you definitely want to leave this hill tied up if possible, and you're about 25% away from doing just that. Soul Snipe off the top rope, able to get his kill. Penguin on the cleanup, but suppressed on the back smack. And right now, KrakenSeas are the ones winning some of these trades and scoring.
We got 1 break left here for BEPS. If they're going to try to contest this hill or at least run some time off the clock, as we see 2.5 minutes left to play. This is, I'd say, there's still a lot of time left to be this kind of late in the game as well, so we may see this go to 4 caps. New sniper rifle in the hands of Falcated. Bound won't be able to put that repulsor to use as he gets cleaned up as well. As you can see, the action taking place in the middle of the map. Suppress versus Eco. Suppress should be able to lock down the blue spawns here for his base. We talked about this in some of the earlier games, Tony. When it comes to that top mid hill, the blue base spawns are just closer than red base here.
Yeah, and we also talk about it being so tough, and this is the entire game mode and map combination usually taking a lot longer. But honestly, these teams have really speed run through 4 caps. Like, I'm surprised we're at 4 caps and we see over 2 minutes worth of neutral time. Usually we don't get to 4 caps for a single team. Sometimes not even for the whole lobby.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Kind of depends on the kind of amount of weight that the teams will put on just playing the objective. How many times are they playing for slays? How well are they kind of just sitting, playing map control, kind of guaranteeing some of these? This is a little bit of both, and that's why we're seeing the game is almost tied up as we reach the final minutes of play. This hill over in Cargo, though, it is an extremely tough one to break. They're going to need a lot of slays, though. Like I said, you want to get those blue base spawns here, especially. This is why KrakenSeas is pulling backwards, trying to play a defensive posture.
Ooh. Stellar and Eco benefiting from that double push. Gotta love seeing that. Stellar definitely see him trying to be a lot more aggressive this game and trying to make something happen just by pure damage, really bullying KrakenSeas whenever he gets the chance to. And hold on, Eco and Stellar, the duo, they kind of started the stagger here for Kraken, and they just might end it as well. Penguin taking down the final player, but Eco and Stellar playing that I guess round of slays or two so well.
Absolutely. Getting 4 dead with the hill almost half cap has got to feel great for BEPS. You can see KrakenSeas, they're desperate to try to get across the map. They do get some kills here, but it's not going to be quickly enough. A minute 30 left on the clock. Oh my goodness, somehow Penguin getting some massive amounts of damage down, and with Stellar there, he's going to walk away with a reversal onto Suppressed. And BEPS, they're not looking to play time. They're looking to end this one as soon as possible.
Yeah, definitely pay attention to the scoreboard and the time. With a minute 30 seconds, and you know that it only takes 40 seconds to take the hill, BEPS are definitely going to play the hill early. However, if Bound gets cleared out and we see a crazy fight that maybe drains 40 to a minute off the clock naturally, we might see BEPS switch up that strategy. A minute and 30 seconds for this hill is a weird time where anything could happen depending on how the hill goes.
All right, so Falcated does get cleaned up. Stellar, however, was the first spawner. He took the engagement onto Soul Snipe and Hill, but wasn't able to get it. That could create a little bit of a staggered position for BEPS, but Bound, it's Bound doing Bound things. He flies in, grabs himself 1. Nice play by Falcated, but still 3 dead for KrakenSeas. Struck also gets cleaned up. That's going to put Soul Snipe coming off spawn here towards blue. He's trying to play forward on the map as best as possible. Zane or Penguin going for the hill. Knows now Soul Snipe's there. A call out should be coming in. Oh, big win from Soul Snipe.
And not done just yet, and apparently neither is Stellar. That's a double out of him. The Nile grenade lands right at the shoulder of Soul Snipe, and the melee just not able to take him down, but don't worry, Bound will. And with that, Bound and the crew waiting for Kraken to come off a spawn. They know they need a secondary round of slays before they can commit to anything on the map. And look at that clock now, 30 seconds. BEPS have a choice now. They might just switch up the strategy, kind of like I was alluding to earlier.
I mean, this is a scary position, though. 2 members go down immediately. Bound really wanted to get his hands on that sniper rifle, but couldn't find it. Falcated, he's taken down 3 now as we reach this final push. Member of BEPS, Eco, was around QT and wanted to try to stay alive, keep him out of the hill, but not able to do so. And now with only 20 seconds left, we're going to be tied up once again.
BEPS have really brought out the best in KrakenSeas. I think KrakenSeas are playing absolutely incredible right now. Their individual fights are looking very clean. Their teamwork is looking excellent, and more importantly, just very organized. I'm loving this new look from KrakenSeas, and no wonder why they were able to get a big 3rd place during the qualifier. They're simply playing like it right now. 3 down go BEPS, and although Bound the final player alive, he doesn't have the shields in order to fight off Druck. He goes in for the chow anyway, but Druck and KrakenSeas are not only winning fights, but already about 80% done with the hill. Stellar has to chase down Druck, has to nade the hill, has to do everything, and nothing is coming from it because KrakenSeas have just ended it. Wow.
Great plays from KrakenSeas. I mean, we had BEPS in position to close that one out. They were up 3-2 with just over a minute left in the game, but you know, what kind of like we saw earlier as well, KrakenSeas, they have the ability to really kind of just turn on the afterburners. Druck especially was being such a nuisance in that window. He walked away with 2 or 3 kills. We saw Falcated just before that in the bottom hill to tie it up, walk away with 3 kills off of his initial push. When Bound got those kills and almost had sniper rifle and foul pushed out through bottom center, I mean, he literally almost won them the game there.
4-3 win in favor of KrakenSeas, who actually put their 4th win on the series board. Falcated doing the damn thing. Almost 7,700 damage, 60% accuracy as well.
Yeah, you can see Falcated, besides making the game-winning play, you know, I'd have to say there, he was dropping the game, you know, most game damage as well. So only fitting that it's him that comes out and pulls that one out here for KrakenSeas.
Well, KrakenSeas showing that last weekend wasn't just a fluke. I mean, you're talking about BEPS. You're talking about a world championship roster. I mean, you're talking about MVP caliber players across the board on this BEPS roster who demand respect. And KrakenSeas, they're winning, I think, 4-1 is the series so far. Still early, but I will say, very impressed with this KrakenSeas roster. And we talk about teams that continue to get better and better. We've seen that from KrakenSeas, but I also feel like now they're starting to play better. Starting to play well to their competition. Like BEPS are pushing them, and Kraken say, "Oh, great, we're gonna respond. We're gonna play even better than you are." So I'm liking the way Kraken have been looking today, and we'll see if they can carry that into the rest of the scrim, and then ultimately Atlanta.
I mean, they were playing great this weekend as well. You know, talking about teams that kind of really showed up. They've gotten overshadowed a little bit by the Luminon roster and the return of Snakebite, but this is a roster that came together last minute and has been huge. You know, they secured their travel to DreamHack Atlanta as well, secured their seed. You know, and this is a team that is up for the challenge as well because BEPS is not an easy scrim. And you can see, even when these guys are down in the game, they're not rolling over. They're battling out to the end, and it's paid dividends for them so far.
And mind you, I mean, with Origin CTF coming up here, and that's obviously another one that Kraken loves seeing. I will say, BEPS though, very familiar with Halo 5's Coliseum, but that's definitely one that Kraken loves seeing. I will say, we got to show some love to Suppressed. I mean, KrakenSeas were looking decent. They were looking good at times, but honestly, they fell short of many expectations before Suppressed came onto this roster. In fact, that very scrim that we talked about, where Suppressed's team looked dominant, fairly dominant against KrakenSeas, and eventually Suppressed joins this roster. And look how much has happened in such a short time. Again, third place during that qualifier, looking incredible against BEPS, looking organized, looking capable, looking objective, efficient, like everything that we want this KrakenSeas team to look like and how we thought they would look like towards the beginning half of this year. They're looking like that today and this week in such a short time. So definitely want to show some love to Suppress because I think he's added a much needed firepower, a much needed energy, and maybe a much needed chemistry as well, coming from that same kind of friend group that ultimately Kraken need. That's where they've always derived, is when they were teaming with their best friends.
Yeah, definitely a team that needs to have good vibes, or a team that kind of thrives, I should say, off having that. And you know, you pinpointed or kind of pointed out as well some of Suppressed's thoughts and some of the kind of last minute changes that we had in these rosters where you know, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes when team changes are happening, especially when there's like lots of orgs and contracts and other things involved. There's, you know, 4 members on a team. While one person might want something, it might be something different for someone else. So a lot of times there are a lot of pains involved with these teams as they come together, kind of at the end of the day when all the dust settles.
Elam, I'm so embarrassed to say this right now. I went to take a swig of my Gatorade and I went to put it down real quick and I looked back up and there was a cap in 40 seconds. I don't know what happened. I went to put my Gatorade down to the ground and there was a capture that happened for KrakenSeas. Wow. Coming out 40 seconds cap and apparently not done because they're trying to start another one here. Meanwhile, Eco has infiltrated their base.
Yeah, if you blink, you might miss it here. KrakenSeas still playing out of their minds. They got a 4-1 series lead, and they're looking to continue that momentum here on Origin. A cap within a minute. Keep in mind, it's 2 more games left to secure themselves or lock in that cash grab here in this scrim today. So Snowsipe, he's pushing up. He's got thrust now, and he knows Stellar has sniper. With Stellar having sniper, though, this is the moment that BEPS can get into the game or take over. Flag was already pulled, and Stellar, oh my god, that was just a style points.
Okay. This is the sniper plays that earned him an MVP. Stellar started to make some noise here, but Druk gonna silence him just a bit. Soul Sniper going to get cleaned up, and now a momentary 1v1. Both teams were 3 down for a second.
Yeah, that was like some John Wick action going on by Stellar. Just no fear, perfect control, and beam that high, he gets the 360 medal, the straight vertical down no scope, another no scope onto suppressed after that as rockets come up. They're just incredible plays by Stellar.
Ooh. Trying to find that right rocket angle to bounce it off of a ground, and Soulsnipe just fighting a player in mid-air, eventually not able to find the kill that he wants. As Stellar also able to take down Falcon. The sniper coming up, and you know Stellar wants hands on it. He's not to fight for it though. Druck is ready and actually chasing him away, and Soulsnipe is also providing some cover fire as well. Druck comes out with the sniper and a full one at that.
Yeah, you can see Stellar didn't want that engagement, knew there were several players over there towards Sniper. It looks like the rest of the spawners also came up in Cave. That gave Druck, the sniper, who puts out first disgusting no-scope on the board onto Penguin, but he gets taken no shields. He's getting hunted down. We'll see if he can connect with any more here.
Yeah, we have Druck giving some free lessons here, teaching players how to do backflips without with the way the headshot no scopes are connecting. But eventually goes down, and Suppressor had to pick up exactly where he left off. And right now, a bit of a cursed sniper that ends up in the hands of Penguin. Soulsnipe somehow dodged the S7 shots, but can't do the same for the Bandit. Stellar now wants to enter the fight through the perimeter of the snipe side, and Eco is here as well. As of right now, KrakenSeas, they're surrounded. They're 3 down and not wasting any time whatsoever. Eco moving the flag.
Ego's got 2 players in front of him, no shields, but he's not able to take out Druck. Some excellent peek shots from Druck to secure his life, make Eco kind of waste that ammo. That will, though, be enough to guarantee that first capture. Bound, he's got 13 on the board, tied with Druck for top frags in the lobby. The Slay's still heavily in favor of KrakenSeas, but with that being said, we're all tied up again.
Yeah, it was objective efficient Eco that pulled that flag and eventually brought it home and capped their first 1 for BEPS. So although Kraken are leading in the Slays, well, it's BEPS that are keeping their eyes on the prize. Curb sliding their way to try to take down Penguin. Suppressed having to give up his position in order to guarantee that kill. Even turns it into 2, and that's why you bring Suppressed on the roster. He turns lemons into margaritas.
Absolutely does, and Rockets are coming up right now. Suppressed just playing extremely patient, trying to be a nuisance over here towards Sniper, delay any push from BEPS for as long as possible. However, kill feed, it is all blue as we see 3 go dead now for KrakenSeas. That flag will be returned, and the new one will be pulled as well. This may be a counter cap scenario that we're looking at.
Yeah, a bit of a flag relay race being ran by BEPS, and you see Falcon and Suppressed trying to find the angle, trying to attack the 50, but hesitant to do so because knowing that Eco and the rest of BEPS are watching every angle, and while that happens, Bound punches in the second flag cap for BEPS. Bound, the final player alive after that flag cap. Druck is able to take him down. No, actually it's Soulsnipe that finds both players. I think a player actually just spawned elbow right in front of him where he was able to rocket the second.
Yeah, that flag is moving very quickly as well. Luckily for BEPS, there are no more rockets left, but he got some pretty good use out of them to help get this flag moved along. Balcated, he's on a flank, gets some free shots and damage onto some players. And this one should be all tied up again. I think we're seeing, one of the problems is BEPS is committing a little bit too hard for some of these kind of stops, if anything. When the Aqua flag comes to mind, where we saw them make some of the same mistakes.
And at this level of gameplay, you make any mistakes against the opposition, they're going to make you pay for it. They're going to take advantage. Stellar wasn't even going to kill with the sniper, but eventually goes down courtesy of remote detonation. That gives Sniper in the hands of KrakenSeas. Suppressed, dancing a bit, staying alive. Druck still alive with the sniper as well. They weren't close enough to pull a flag cap, were KrakenSeas, so we're going to have to see them slay out again, but so far, that hasn't been a problem for Kraken. That's 2 down, back-to-back kills almost immediately. The 3rd falls, and you got to pull this flag, and that's exactly what Druck's trying to do.
Yeah, 4 down. Druck, he has sniper rifle, but he is the one running flag. So might take it kind of out of the hands or out of contention briefly. I think he connected on that one, though. So if anything, maybe it's going to be even more powerful than if he was just trying to play cover fire here. to go down though, and Flag is right in the middle of the last two BEPS members. Stayed by Stellar off of the wall, gets some serious damage down, secures both of those kills. Falcated trying to do what he can, but walks into now what's a triple kill. Drunk, last player alive. He's running around towards Elbow trying to kill Bound, but it results in a trade, and just like that, now BEPS find themselves in even better position.
At the risk of glazing Stellar right now, I mean, bro, if Stellar is not involved in that play, that's a guaranteed flag cap and the game is over, courtesy of Kraken. Like, Stellar had to drop a triple in order to stop that flag, and he does it. My man is absolutely clutch, absolutely icy, and the reason why BEPS are still in this game. But before quickly go down, Falcated moving yet another flag. He's gonna let to go Elbow this time and Suppress dukes it out with Bound. Can Stellar get a crazy clutch triple again? I don't think so. He's still in the base and loses all of his teammates, and now the backsmack is there. And just like that, KrakenSeas gonna put the final flag cap in another close game, but goes the way of KrakenSeas.
Oh, that's exactly right. BEPS finding themselves in the lead that game, another 2-1 advantage, but not being able to close that one out. Rockets definitely coming to bite them. The sniper, some of the power weapon control just not benefiting them with these flag runs. The counter caps went well in their favor, I'd say, but just it was, kind of an 80-20 scenario. It felt like that game. Just you can tell just by the slays alone, two members above 20 here, the other two pushing 20, just heavily outslaying BEPS in this game.
Yeah, and we talked about Stellar having uncharacteristic off game in that game number one. Well, Eco kind of falling behind on the KD spread, and even the damage as well. It's taking a lot of damage, not putting that much out in return. It's tough to do when Kraken are just swarming you to get the opposite end of that. Suppressed, who has just been an absolute damage dealer on every roster he's been on, but that also includes KrakenSeas. I think Suppressed has just been playing excellent Halo here in 2026. And more importantly, I think winning Halo as well. Like, not just getting into useless fights. I think there's a method to Suppressed madness, and I'm excited to watch it.
Oh yeah, he's always been an extremely intelligent player, making game-winning plays. He's always making sure he's like watching the flank, covering up open lanes, and he's an incredible power weapon controller as well. Definitely fast with the objective. You've seen him do that on multiple rosters he's been on here as well. And he's not scared of any piv. One of the best shots in the game, steady, consistent, not a player that could easily be overlooked. It's almost surprised that he found himself not on this team earlier, with the amount of just, he's been with Falcated and Penguin before, back on the FaZe roster last year where they walked away with second place. And we saw him do it again in Birmingham as well. So definitely some solid overall positions.
Yeah, Suppressed has been absolutely fantastic. So has this entire KrakenSeas roster. On the opposite side of things, I mean, BEPS obviously on the losing end of a lot of these games, but I mean, maybe it's me and you, Elamite, maybe it's straight ripping. I don't know, but no matter, we've actually seen such close games in every scrim every single week, even when teams are heavily winning these games. Like, they're still just so close. How many 3-2s have we seen to capture the flag? How many 4-3s have we seen in King of the Hill? Even Oddball is going down to third rounds and within 5 or 10 seconds of each other. And it feels like this scrim is no different. I know the scoreline is heavily favoriting KrakenSeas, but if you've actually been watching and paying attention throughout this entire scrim, I think you've seen a situation where one or two plays go the way of BEPS, and maybe they're the ones up, 5-1, 6-1. It really feels like that.
Yeah, at least tied in the series. At 3 games, when you're in the winning position with a minute left, those are the ones you got to close out. Kind of why Rebellion's had so much success. While they do dominate tons of teams and tons of game types, they do find themselves in a lot of close games, or actually find themselves in a losing position as you head into the fourth quarter, or the final kind of few yard line. So Shopify Rebellion consistently, when you're able to kind of be the clutch factor, kind of close out games, be one of those players who's picking up these Soul Snipe triple kills and on all these different kind of really impactful plays in the final moments of the game, that's what comes out with wins as well. And it doesn't matter what the score is at the end of the day, right? Because it's the series score line that determines these victories as well. So it doesn't matter if it's 50-49 or a stake sometimes. And as well with the Slays, that was another game that could have easily been BEPS, and they were being outslayed by a lot, and they were still winning when being outslayed. So it's not always about kills. Objective efficiency is obviously huge.
We're gonna find out how objective efficient these teams can be, because I mean, there's no slayers. I mean, we're only scrimming the objective game modes, and honestly, I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. Especially as a fan or as just somebody just watching. I think Strongholds, King of the Hill, huge fans. I think both these teams play capture the flag amazingly. Soul Snipe able to get away with a camouflage early on, and Alpha Bravo immediately belongs to them. And oh my gosh, Soul Snipe, he's so patient, dude.
It was just a brilliant heads-up play to not actually move and just kind of fake out what they thought was going to be a rotation. Gets rewarded with a play, rewarded with shock rifle, and this is Soul Snipe with the shock rifle as well. If he does anything like what we saw from him earlier, BEPS is going to be in trouble.
Camo and shock in the hands of Soul Snipe. Immediately, one going down, but it's still ultimately KrakenSeas that are scoring. So, you know what? Why don't we hop on board with KrakenSeas? Let's hop into a listener and find out what's been going so right for this KrakenSeas roster.
I'm gonna push you tower, man.
Have your cat, have your cat.
I'm gonna try to stick him.
Okay, man.
Stuck him.
Nice. Oh my god.
Needles.
I'm liking C-Pot.
Needles,
weak.
three times, needles.
Ton of needles on me.
Two guys, needles.
Needles going A. Going A.
Ace steps, Sean twice.
Alright, weak.
One shot, a cat, dead.
Nice.
Spawn red. Spawn red. Yeah,
No,
C
needles,
pipes.
needles.
Pipes. And turbine.
One shot needles,
shot,
what?
Yeah, C black. And C.
kill needles?
And C.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
They both did.
Stacks one, chilling. Good.
See, one shot C-Pot.
Yeah, get ready to collapse on that. Move forward, whoever's there.
Yeah.
I'm holding you.
Power on me,
okay,
weak,
one
and
shot.
back shot, one shot.
Go for it,
You're
everyone.
long,
go
long,
for it.
Long weak. One shot long, Kevin.
No hesitation whatsoever in those comms and reacting to it. The moment you heard Long Haul go down, you heard somebody respond to it immediately and take the fight. Now, sadly, weren't able to win that fight over to the Long Haul side, and Penguin making an absolute play to turn and burn the rest of KrakenSeas, but you still gotta love the level of communication.
Oh, the comms are great out of KrakenSeas. You can see how relaxed they are and how simple. There's no clutter in the comms. It was very one person talking at a time. It kind of seems like it's mostly locations being called out, which means everyone's kind of on the same page on what they want to do, how they want to move around the map. Although towards the end of the comms and the listen in, you did hear Suppressed start talking about the push that they wanted to do, kind of playing off what damage you get, your numbers advantages, things like that. Just anything to keep everyone on the same page.
Flying bound goes in for the challenge on the Falcon. I feel like there's one thing that I've noticed on this BEPS roster, and all series long, despite the fact losing 1-5, one thing has remained consistent. Bound is ready for the challenges. Again, we talked about his shot looking so clean. I think his movement is on point as well. As always, I think Bound has been extremely good. But now we need to see BEPS find a way to close out these close games. And right now, it looks like they're ready to do just that. 3 down. Go KrakenSeas. Falcon, the last player.
Yeah, definitely not looking like Bound has missed a beat at all. Was away from a little bit of competition with his little Europe tour I think he was on, but nonetheless is back and is back in final form here. Playing so quick. He's been such an impactful player here for this BEPS roster.
Soul Snipe infiltrates tower. While one shot ends up running into Eco, because of that, Eco is able to squeeze away one melee to trade out his life. But still, BEPS staggered at the moment. KrakenSeas with the 3 down, and now it's KrakenSeas. Bravo and Charlie now belonging to them.
Ooh, but looks like they pushed C a little early. They may want to just force all of the spawns over towards A. It looks like they do. Soul Snipe got away with that shock rifle. Penguin picks up a trade. Gonna allow hopefully some position for BEPS to move around, but Soul Snipe is just too clean with it once again. But leave it to Bound in A to pull off some defensive plays, wins a crucial piv against Falcated. Now he finds himself being hunted down by Soul Snipe.
Yeah, I will say Soul Snipe doesn't end up going down from Bound there, but that play earlier on Stellar was beautiful. I mean, putting the shot down, backing down from the bat ledge, double backing through gold, and baiting Stellar in. Beautifully played, and Bound, of course, responds back with a beautiful, clean double kill of his own. Penguin gets his, and just like that, BEPS is scoring triple cap, in fact.
Yeah. You had KrakenSeas with BC control and all of BEPS trapped in A. Bound found himself last player alive and killed 3 members of KrakenSeas in A, including Suppress, who had that shock rifle. Locks down control, puts a triple kill, or excuse me, triple cap here on the map for BEPS at the moment, and he's got to feel great about that one.
I'm gonna try to reset this alpha. Has the plasma pistol charged up. Nobody's coming from the bottom side, but Soul Snipe did end up infiltrating from Whirlpool. He goes down and suppresses a second too late, and because of that, Penguin about to be on the hunt. Penguin's the most dangerous animals on recharge.
You can see they say penguins can't fly, but the way he moves around the map sometimes makes you wonder. It is a pretty good scoring position, though, for KrakenSeas once again. Falcated maybe could have gotten A, but elected to just play aggressively, go for the stop at C or the reset at C. Bound finally gets taken out. That's not been an easy task based on what we've seen today. But Eco, he finds his way into B. He picks up a double kill, and the nade's not able to take him out. He'll be able to secure this one as well.
Seems like KrakenSeas are doing well in spurts, but not at the same time. Like, I feel like we see one time, Falcated have his team 3 down. He gets a good double kill. Suppress gets himself some kind of crazy 2-piece there's no business doing. Druk has been fantastic all game long. Like, we see moments, but now we gotta start to chain it together. Everybody start popping off at the same time. Well, as it might be harder to do when Bound gets away with shock rifle, so Soul Snipe shuts that down immediately. 3 down, go BEPS.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough one there, Bound. Not able to connect on that headshot, and even though he did a lot of damage, it wasn't enough for an easy cleanup to come in. Put several members for BEPS dead, and that's going to be another lead change here as KrakenSeas may be able to, this is it for the series win. A lot of games left to be played as far as practice goes and the big picture of DreamHack Atlanta, but this is KrakenSeas looking to close out the series.
Triple cap is locked in right now. BEPS continue to be the first one to go down. If we do that against KrakenSeas, they're going to get aggressive. Eco somehow able to make it over towards Bravo, but the moment he hops in a zone, that's exactly where KrakenSeas know where he's at, and they make him pay. Falcated! I wasn't familiar with your game.
How are you not familiar with Falcated's game, Tony? This is Falcated we're talking about. He is the frag leader in this game right now. And with Suppressed having camo, that should be pretty much all she wrote, I'd imagine. They do lock down B and C somehow. So some fighting life left in this, but one break and it should be done.
Camo still in the hands of Suppressed here. A one-shot Stellar, but down to the low ground, ultimately out of the fight. And as long as Suppressed and KrakenSeas are able to take at least one of these bases, start scoring, it could be all she wrote for BEPS to quickly go down. Eco has to take the 1v1, not before they take away Bravo. They're gonna have to out-rotate him and go Charlie, but it's KrakenSeas scoring again, and just running out of time. Did BEPS KrakenSeas take another game?
Yeah, KrakenSeas, their teamwork, their ability to control the middle of the map, and their kind of clean and decisive choices on when to push, when to rotate hills, when to force spawns. You can see it just come into full effect here as Falcated 26-12 with 13 assists. Druk had 20 kills and 17 assists. You can see almost twice as many assists for the majority of KrakenSeas over the members of BEPS.
Man, it just the assist, the kills, this this is a tough KrakenSeas roster to beat when they're playing like that. And like, think about the times where we've seen players losing clutch 1v1s to the like of Penguin and Bound, who obviously are some of the toughest kills in the world, and still Kraken are able to outslay them. How are they doing that? It's that teamwork. It's that bait and switch, not relying on the 1v1s to give you the advantage needed to get aggressive, but relying on the double push, the triple pushes, and ultimately that no man left behind strategy. KrakenSeas are again just playing extremely organized and clean Halo.
Absolutely. You can tell this is a team that it could very well become a contender here for the grand finals spot as well if they're able to kind of keep up and build upon what we're seeing from them here in this game. As we look at the next game type, live fire oddball. Lots of times it's going to be the first game type played in this series, but it's made its way down to the second half now that we're seeing the incorporation of game type selection here between the two teams. But yeah, KrakenSeas has got to be feeling really good about this scrim. I mean, I don't think there's anything to feel bad about for BEPS though. Like to just point out as well, as this is a team that is just later to the game as far as getting the reps in, and the most important stretch of reps is now. Like one key factor that it's really hard to kind of think about if you've never been involved in like the pro scene too, but there's the sense of like you can't be at peak form like at all times in all moments. So as the practice goes, you want to like reach peak form at like the week of the tournament, basically, right? You don't want to like peak the first week after the tournament and then it's you kind of like start struggling a little bit more as things go on. You want to make sure you're reaching that final form when it matters.
Yeah, I guess I never even thought about that, to be honest with you. But yeah, if you have a choice of being hot, 2 weeks before the event or the weekend of the event, well, give me the weekend of the event because $100,000 on the line. Hey, I love the straight ripping watch party, the straight ripping pro scrim watch party, excuse me, and I love straight ripping put a little bit of money in the hands of some of the winners, but $100,000 when we get to land, that's kind of crazy.
Right. This is just a great opportunity for us to jump in and kind of see everything that goes into the process and the buildup of the major LAN events. So obviously, there's a ton of people involved to make the LANs happen. There's developer, there's production, there's organization, management. So to have all the pieces come together, this is just a great opportunity for everyone watching and the diehard Halo fans to kind of really see what goes into building these rosters, the preparation going into events as well. And it's just a small glimpse, of course, right? Because there's a lot that was going on before the series started. There's going to be a lot going on and Halo discussions happening after the series ends. And of course, this is just a scrim, a one-day scrim, as we see there's not a lot of time left heading into Atlanta. We're reaching that final stretch. So all these teams need to be making sure the time that they're putting in is best used here to help them, do their best they can at the event.
Yeah, it's actually so crazy to think about. Like, I mean, May 14th, I mean, we're almost done with April. And then at that point, 2 weeks into May, we're going to be at Atlanta. Like, it is coming so fast, and it honestly is extremely surprising. And I kind of brought up this question earlier to you, and I guess I'll kind of bring it up again here. So, leading up to an event, what does, as a player, as a coach, you've seen it all. What does practice and what does a team grind look like when going into a land, especially in the final 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, the final 2 to 3 weeks, obviously, you're trying to make sure you're using the best use of your scrim. So there's a lot of discussion that goes around who you play, what the scrim schedule looks like for all the teams. You've got, it's not necessarily you're getting your first choice of scrims in some cases as well. So you're having to work around with a lot of different moving pieces. You want to be making sure I think one thing that never gets mentioned, but you have to watch out for is starting to be healthy before events. You just don't want to get sick, because that's one of the wild card factors that are out of your control for the most part. But at least don't go party, in the final weeks that you're going. Don't do eat a bunch of crap. a lot of the guys are young and it won't affect them in many ways. But food I think is a big one, and an important factor that doesn't get looked at around events. Sleep, the preparation when it comes to like the practice of what teams you're playing, the amount of VOD review that you're doing, what game types you might specifically be looking at. Maybe it's the game types at the tournament, a specific round that you definitely want to be putting a lot of attention to. Run some hypotheticals on what the event might look like based on bracket points, players, things like that. There's definitely a lot you can do. You can even study other teams as well, right? That you might have your rivalries against, or a scenario you might kind of look at specifically going into a tournament.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned even like a diet, because I feel like I'll use myself for example here. Like if I'm eating fast food like a McDonald's or a Wendy's, like I feel like I'm happy in the moment, but then afterwards I regret it. Like I'm sluggish. I like no. By the way, McDonald's and Wendy's, if you plan on sponsoring the stream, I love you. Don't worry. We'll change that statement up a little bit, but afterwards I'm regretting it. I feel sluggish. I definitely wouldn't feel like I'd be playing my best, even in esports, especially not sports, obviously basketball, football, but even in esports, I feel like I would just be kind of lagging behind. So I feel like a healthy diet, especially leading up to the event or at the event, especially, I would imagine being so important.
And you're traveling, there's jet lag that could be involved. You're staying in a different bed, different time zones. You're also, speaking of diet, then you're also, maybe out of your normal kind of food diet when you're traveling. Like it's just harder to kind of do, if you're in any kind of routine, it can break up. A lot of the people are very active, or go to the gym. That could be, come a factor if they're doing like that on a routine in the mornings and stuff. With the last event being Birmingham, speaking of time zone changes and all the factors that come into being in a different country with cultures and just foods entirely, is another thing too. So it's all fun and exciting, but there's lots of things that you can do to try to give yourself like an edge that's not like, ridiculous, right? Like things that everyone should be doing for the most part, especially around like food and health and things. But especially there is some importance, I think, when you're going to events for years and years and years, and at the end of the day you've attended 50, 60, 70 events. I don't even know how many events I've gone to at this point, but I think it's got to be like, it's up there. Like I've got to be reaching like 100 at some point. Like it's been going on for a long time, gone to a lot of events. So you definitely don't want to get sick at events too. Like that's one of the worst things that can happen to you.
Yeah, I know we're saving getting sick for afterwards. Oh, every event I come home and I'm just, my voice is gone. I'm sick the first couple of days. It is. I don't get sick during the events, but definitely right afterwards, I always catch the bug. I don't know how. Even when I stay in the hotel room and don't even talk to anybody, I somehow still catch the bug, and it is absolutely so annoying. I feel like we've been talking a lot about the KrakenSeas roster, and while we're waiting for the teams to get ready and continue to scrim here, I feel like whoa, what's going on here? What is that? What is that? Trippy with the rate of fat rate at that. Oh my gosh. The daggone freaking alert scared the heck out of me. I'm under attack here. W rate. Can we get some W rates in the chat? But I was gonna say, I feel like we've been talking a lot about the KrakenSeas roster and players. Obviously the BEPS players extremely well. Well, one might say you might have coached every single one of these players at the same exact time. Like what? Talk to me more about this team and what their peak looks like. Because a lot of people are coming in and maybe don't know BEPS all that well. We're like, well, what makes BEPS so special? They only won one game so far. Tell me about when they're playing at their peak and at their best. What makes this team special?
I mean, like we've seen, this was the roster in 2023. Obviously, it was slightly different for 2024, but still, we were able to come away with Salt Lake City, as a major victory. So there's a lot of stiff competition. I think sometimes a lot of the times it's the teams that you're playing against, the amount of work that they put in. When there's teams like Optic and Rebellion and, big shout out Trippy as well. So Luminon and teams like this that can get in your way and stop you on your path. It's a constant kind of you know, pendulum of like back and forth, or which teams are working the hardest, who's putting in the most prep, and you know, it's a marathon at the end of the day.
As of right now, it's KrakenSeas that have been winning the sprint here so far, and actually sprinting after the ball, this soul snipe at KrakenSeas, because although BEPS are the first one to score, it's Kraken that quickly take the lead and put BEPS 3 down almost immediately. KrakenSeas in control.
Yeah, Falcated 6-0-0, just slaying out to open up this game. More kills than BEPS entirely. Falcated still playing, finessing on that pillar, grabbed himself one more, but Eco will go ahead and clean that one up.
Yeah, I call Falcated the silent assassins. I feel like, I mean, even going back to the first event, I literally says that Falcated is going to be the most underrated player in the league, and he was for quite some time. But it feels like even when he's stacking slays, like he doesn't demand control of like the camera. He sneaks. He's very sneaky with the way that he get his kills, and sometimes if you lose track of him, he's gonna make you pay just like that. Big double kill from Falcated and a one-shot Eco. Somehow gonna survive. I say that, but he's not able to turn the corner.
9 now for Falcated. Speaking of which, Soul Snipe, a little bit uncharacteristic, I'd say, but he's yet to grab one on the board. But with 4 assists on the stat page as well. It's still being a nuisance here on the map. Pretty much tied up as we look at the slays going in favor now of BEPS. All the action taking place over towards A, as Bound has brought the ball here with 3 dead and Camo coming up. Now BEPS in position to really kind of take over here.
Yeah, and you know, I can't think of a perfect time to maybe hop into a listening here when you see BEPS taking the lead, them taking camouflage, finally starting to look alive here. Why don't we go in on a BEPS listening?
Spawn far, Bound. Spawn far.
Sniper 5. Play around the sniper. Or I'm going top tower.
White box right now.
We're looking for Donnie.
Bottom mid one shot with snipe going Q door. I got Canadian.
Sniping rat tunnel retard.
Didn't die.
Yes.
Okay, didn't have to do that there.
Look at my
Training?
Look at Zen.
Dummy door. He's bottom mid going on the ball, and one guy queued up. Dummy door, mid cut one guy.
It's up A, I think, Donnie.
Yeah, on OB, and one guy bottom mid, I think.
Watch out
Fuck
screens.
me, Druck killed me.
Watch out screens going key.
Druck has snipe ball. Repulse, his brain's gonna melt.
Yeah, 2 screens.
One back at weak.
Yeah, guys, we
Okay, one shot. Snipe.
Yeah, I'm coming behind you in a second.
All those sniping.
Yo, white box, one shot. Okay, did one shot.
I will say, a lot more energy than I expected out of this BEPS roster here. I normally a little bit more quiet, a little more reserved, but you can feel the energy, and I'm sure they're feeling some of the pressure when down 1-6 in the scrim. And I like this. I like this energetic BEPS roster.
Yeah, you can see they're still trying to play aggressive. They're still bringing the action. I mean, at the end of the day, this is still a scrim, and their big picture is Atlanta. So this is a team that's also, I think, needs a lot of reps, right? A team, and I mean, that goes for all teams. Like, what is practice at the end of the day besides that? And with some of the challenges that this team had encountered through retirement, through travel, and just the overall kind of timing of events, the reps that they get in, kind of like the improvements we saw from Luminon between their first scrim here, 2 weeks ago now, and what we're looking at and what we're seeing from them here, just night and day differences.
Oh, hate to break the flow of the end game, but man, 100 viewer raid, and we have a 12-month resub here. Thank you so much, Last Shot of Swifty Panda. Welcome to the Straight Rippin' Pro Scrim Night, our 3rd iteration of this, and honestly, I ain't getting tired of it whatsoever, and hopefully y'all will love joining us here. 61-44 is the lead in favor of Kraken, who have a 6-1 series lead over BEPS. I say lead because, again, this is scrims, it's practice, and Falcated is dropping triple kills.
Yeah, big plays here coming out from the squad. Falcated, he's got 18 here already, and we're only in the first round. And just past halfway at that, Druck is going to grab himself this camo, get some good damage out on the map as well. But BEPS, they've been able to move the ball around really well here so far.
Druk trying to get the explode there. Luckily, his teammate still gets the kill and just slowing down BEPS. Where you can tell we're trying to up the tempo, but KrakenSeas just seemingly had their number. Finding an isolated Stellar. Druk putting down max damage on here. Stellar now out of the fight here. Druk anticipating the push over toward Big Door, but it looks like he's taking an entirely different angle. He went bottom mid.
And he's playing, trying to find some good angles. Obviously, listening to call-outs, playing for information as a major part here. Once he gets some good damage down on these players, he's going to push aggressively into the play, but does get traded out by Stellar. Penguin, he's been able to find the sniper rifle, connects on a beautiful no-scope, and from a tough position onto Soul Snipe as well. He's being flanked, but Suppress gets cleaned up by some nice nades. That leaves the last two from KrakenSeas hiding towards a window as they get cleaned up. Down by 10 points here. Now, BEPS is closing in on this lead.
Penguin normally priding himself in being that dirty work player for the roster and still able to do that, but a player you don't expect to be that leading man for the with the sniper, but he's been that literally this entire series. When Penguin has the sniper, Kraken lose lives almost immediately. Still sniper in hands, couple warning shots over towards Falcon and Soul Snipe, who still were able to grab ball, but Penguin now attacking from an entirely different angle. I wonder if Kraken are going to be able to read that.
I like the relocation from Penguin, like you pointed out here. He's going to keep KrakenSeas guessing, but they have some positions set up already, and they should be able to push the Penguin back once again down. He's trying to get towards this ball. They have to as the time is counting down, but it was a little bit too late on this push. Kind of came back to bite them. Falcated, though, have to point out again, ended the game with 23 kills in a single round. Just absolute monster performance from Falcated.
Yeah, Falcon's been fantastic here. And Stellar now gets a chance with the sniper. Oh, little fadeaway shot, Kobe-esque with that one. And then immediately going for the ball. Gonna pass that obviously over towards a teammate, but not wasting any time. And continuing to get right back in the fight. I never seen Druk throw a nade.
Yeah, that was a clutch stick by Druk. He had QT as well, almost able to get out, but not quite. As Stellar does pick up a good kill there. And classic Stellar plays, that top middle no-scope. He misses the first two easy shots, but just turns a 180 and rips the hard no-scope to take out these players.
Incoming.
Soul Snipe was able to get away with the carbine. And oh, going in for almost a ninja there. Might have even gotten the lunge and went for the melee, to be honest with you. Bound not able to win his 1v1 against Falcated, who repulsed to the sky, and it's oh my gosh. The opposition did not hear the repulse, and he almost made a crazy play.
Yeah, Falcated sitting at 27 kills now. He's doubling a lot of the players in the game. If you take a look at Soul Snipe, who's just been all over the objective, Falcated's basically doing enough slaying for the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been unbelievable. But so far this round, it's BEPS the one that is scoring here, and so far Kraken haven't gotten a single point on the board. Falcated, upset about that, clearly gets the kill, makes a player one shot. Soul Snipe's there for the cleanup. Continue, that's a double. Almost gets himself a triple. Bound survives, but long enough or just long enough for Suppress? So Suppress can't find the kill. Oh no, Bound's gonna live.
Yeah, that's going to be exactly what BEPS needs to continue building upon this lead, close up, tie these rounds 1-1. Bound grabs a couple extra seconds and somehow slides through, gets the play ball here with two members on the hunt. With new play ball, Druk pushing bottom middle, wanted to try to get it off spawn, but Stellar just too quick with it. Starts the escape and wins the BIV.
Surprised those gonna stay alive after that one, but when BEPS are firing on all cylinders like this, that leads to a 3 down ultimately for KrakenSeas. Stellar gonna bring this ball back over towards tower, and I'm assuming they're able to get away with snipe as well. Oh, sorry, not up yet, excuse me.
Yeah, Eco grabs this camo here. Should be able to help watch Stellar. He flew across top middle with that ball. Probably didn't even need to rotate that far, but with a 56-point lead, they're still feeling pretty good about the position they find themselves in. Eco, he's playing the intel game as well. This is, I actually really like this. They went for ball immediately and allowed Eco to kind of try to bait this rotate. Does allow him to find 1 kill. And with the rest of the BEPS playing top middle control, they should be able to lock down Sniper. Even if Eco does go down here, it doesn't really matter too much because the cleanups are here and ball time should still be getting scored.
Snipe hits the ground, and so does Soul Snipe. BEPS able to win out of some of these individual fights. Bound able to get his as well, just like that. BEPS scoring here. Kraken still not a single point this entire second round.
Yeah, it's night and day differences here that we're seeing in these rounds. However, Falcated, he is the one that is still slaying at an extremely high level. Grabs himself his 33rd kill of the game. Make that 34, over 10 kills higher than the next player. A triple kill and a brand new Sniper pushes this once they get the over. It might be a little late, so we'll call it an unofficial one. But KrakenSeas getting points on the board now through some huge plays out of Falcated.
Falcated has, what, I think 36 kills at the moment here, and we're not even done with round number 2. And the way things are looking, we may be looking at a round 3. I mean, at this point, Falcated could be going for a 55 bomb at this point with the way that he's playing. 60 isn't even out of the realm of possibility when talking about the way Falcated is playing.
Yeah, but getting to 60 might be a tall ask, and if KrakenSeas isn't able to put any points on the board here and get back into this round, it may be ending very quickly. 82 and counting. As Falcated, you can see him moving around here and trying to push through pillars. The ball is over towards back B, and they have to break this setup now.
Soulsnipe able to get the double kill, forcing Eco to play that ball. Soulsnipe turns it immediately into a triple, and with Penguin in his sights, we almost saw the first overkill of the game. But what we will see is Falcon and KrakenSeas scoring along with Suppressed, getting away with camouflage. Finally, we're seeing some life in this round from KrakenSeas.
Yeah, Falcated. He's plus 20 right now. He says, all right, if we're gonna need to score here, I'm just gonna grab the ball myself. You can see 37 as he plays the ball down, but grabs a kill again too. In a 1v1 with Penguin, wins that because he's just not losing anything. Some grenades coming in, but not able to do enough. BEPS locks in the final points. If you can't kill him, just don't even fight him. Get the points and end the game.
What do they say? The good players win 1v1s. The great players avoid them, especially when the objective is on the line here. Round number 3, and again, we gotta hop on board Falcated, putting on an absolute masterclass of slaying out the enemy for down go BEPS. 38 kills so far from Falcated.
Yeah, 38 and 16. Just absolutely absurd stats. It's impossible to not be outslaying the enemy team when you're literally over plus 20. Now, Suppressed Hat Sniper will get taken out. That's going to put it in the hands of Stellar. A lot of early points on the board for Kraken in this round number 3. Oh no, that's not what you want to see if you're BEPS.
30-0 run here for KrakenSeas. A one-shot Suppressed is covered immediately by the man of the hour, Falcated, putting his 40th on the board, courtesy of a beautiful bait and switch action. Now, you gotta see Sniper in the hands. 2 bullets to work with here for Falcated. The pressure now coming from Nest. No, it's not, because Falcated is here.
News is, though, as Falcated reaches 42 kills, he's finally out of snipe ammo. So that's one benefit, I guess, to take away. But when this bandit looks like he's shooting snipe shots out of it, this is tough to be, and they just cannot kill him. He's the man who can do no wrong at the moment.
Staying on board with Falcated, teammates finding kills left and right. That's back-to-back kills that once again go the way KrakenSeas, but Bound pushing it immediately. Falcated may have gotten that first shot, takes advantage. Nade goes down, snapping onto every weakened player and playing the cover perfectly. Eventually, Penguin does come in to get that kill to put him 3 down, takes down the 4th one. So great defense out of Kraken, but even better offense out of BEPS.
Yeah, BEPS finally here in round number 3, starting to show some life again. They find themselves down by 30 points now. So they're starting to get some more on the board, but Falcated hits 45. This is the definition of flow state. This is a man who, like we said, can do no wrong, moves around the map, everything working out perfectly.
Yeah, when we talk about flow state, it's like it's almost like a Dragon Ball Z Ultra instinct. You know, it's just when you're not able to overcomplicate the games and you just move with confidence, you just move based on instinct alone, and everything's working in your favor. Well, that's really what it feels like Falcated is in right now. 41-16 is the scoreline at the moment, suppressed. Final player alive, but more importantly, has the camouflage so he can make plays just like that and continue to make plays. Half of BEPS go down. They're the ones who had the advantage literally seconds ago, and now they're wiped off the face of live fire.
Yeah, suppressing this camo, being such a nuisance, getting so much damage on these players from scoreboard over here, allows this team to get away with the ball, allows Falcated to grab that new sniper rifle. He's got 47 on the board, playing with just all the confidence in the world here. Doubles back, finds these players towards C. He is the last player alive, takes both of these guys to no shields, but thankfully Stellar is there to clean this one up.
Yeah, trades out his life there. Ooh, but not able to hit the snipe and ends up right back in the hands of Druk and KrakenSeas. But best more importantly, have the ball, trying to maneuver it toward the A side. Bound catches just a whiff of weakness and immediately hops on that. Soul snipe on the cleanup though. And also want to rotate that ball back over towards tower and ultimately away from the pressure from BEPS.
Last player alive is Bound. His teammates do respawn, but it's going to be so far away, nobody can get in to follow up on any kind of damage here. There may be a small opening top middle that will allow a push, but Falcated wisely backs down, trying to get his shields back, and Nade will keep those low. I don't think anyone's in position to clean this up.
Ball played off the map here. Falcated on the battle with Suppress. That is, excuse me, the battle with Bound. That is a nice little double count of him. Continues to put the pressure on Eco. Now being driven away from the cuts and over toward the low side. Penguin over on the wide left. Not anymore. Falcated is here. Now Stellar and Bound, the only 2 players you have to deal with. And let me tell you, man, whatever Falcated had for breakfast this morning, I'll take 2 of them.
I mean, that might have been like the first fight where he was even at a disadvantage and was supposed to lose, but then he didn't actually just win out of nowhere. Falcated 52 and 22. We were talking about him being plus 20 a second ago. He's plus 30 now as he's still moving across the map, and there's still some time left to play in this game as Falcated walks away with the new camo. I'd like to see him almost, yeah, he's gonna pass the ball off. This could be a 60 kill game if BEPS kind of gets back into it.
I said it's 60 kills, not out of the realm of possibility. Oh, especially when you're 2 for 1ing like that, taking down 2 before going down. Druk now continuing kind of with Falcated left off, willing to chase after the QT play, right back into the action, but QT's back and you, brother, my brain can't even fathom even thinking to make that play, let alone hitting it beautifully. Druk, you were unreal.
Yeah, that was gross. Basically, in order to extend his life and make sure that player above him in Nest couldn't finish him off, he dropped him off of the map to buy enough time for his QT to be used again to actually survive. Stellar, he got sniper rifle, was able to connect on 1. Only 9 points left to close out this game number 8. And less than a minute on the board. Now they will stop scoring here for a moment, but Bound, he's not going to be able to do enough. That should... Well, the spawns are slightly benefiting BEPS. Soul Snipe only needs 1 second, and sure enough takes out the Piv. Gets the last second. 55 from Falcated, and 40. Somebody else had 40 as well. So just absurd slaying here from KrakenSeas.
Everybody had their moment for KrakenSeas on that oddball live fire, but I mean, Coach Callis, run me through them freaking stats, brother. 55 kills, like you said, for a respectable 40 out of suppressed, but when you're dropping a 36.3 KDA, ladies and gentlemen at home, that is not a typo. That is not an error. 36.3 KDA is what Falcated just dropped.
You got Donnie with a 6.3 and Falcated with a 36.3. Absolutely absurd. 13k damage. And, I think it's interesting. Well, with Donnie's stats, he's 40 and 40. So, Falcated, yeah, I mean, watching his scream the times we were on there, it just literally looked like the man who could do no wrong. Every corner he turned, it was into a double kill. Every time he turned around was a no scope. Every time he grabbed the ball, his teammate was there to take it from him because he had a power weapon or camo. I mean, that was an entertaining game to watch, and that must have been a fun game for him, I'd bet.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, my matchmaking teammates don't hit 13k damage in 5 hours. Falcon hit it in a single game, man. It's just, it's unreal. And when you have a player like that can pop off like that at any given moment, you're feeling good if you're KrakenSeas. And mind you, it's not even just Falcated too. Like that game, it was Falcated. But we saw, Soul Snipe earlier drop 20 and 9 in a crazy fast, I think it was a capture the flag game that he did it. Like, it was just so quick, but it was just so dominant. We've seen Druck absolutely going off. We've seen Suppressed. My gosh, Suppressed, even in this series. Like, KrakenSeas have a ton of talent. And when we talk about on the other side of that, being the likes of a Bound, a Penguin, you're talking about a Stellar, players that don't lose 1v1s very often, and Kraken are still finding ways to outslay them. It just really shows how much this entire team has grown.
Yeah, and we also have to point out, as Callis said in the chat as well, 2 minutes of ball time for Soul Snipe. So a lot of time, or we've pointed out that Falcated was just constantly passing the ball off to his teammates. Well, that teammate was Soul Snipe 90% of the time here, as you don't get to put those kind of numbers up on the board unless somebody's racking up that time. But speaking of time as well, we're only 40 seconds into this game, Tony, and BEPS is looking strong.
And again, I mean, we've talked about this time and time again as well. BEPS in moments show glimpses of pure brilliance, but we haven't seen them be able to do it for an entire game. Even the close ones, the KrakenSeas just somehow find a way to get their number. And right now we see the counter pull coming out of Falcated for KrakenSeas here. Druck trying to deal with Eco. He does a great job staying alive, but it's a second too late to try to stop Falcated from getting down the long haul, but does end up getting the stop nonetheless.
Yeah, and some great damage comes out of Penguin, which will allow Eco to get into a position to take out 3 members of Kraken and maybe secure himself a return here. Sure enough, he does. Leave it, though, to Falcated, lifting up top tower, grabs himself a guaranteed kill, and probably another one here, as this guy is just locked in.
Penguin navigating his way through the green side. Nice little double kill, but not before. Getting taken down by Suppress, who trades out his life. A bit of a 2-for-1. 3 down, still go KrakenSeas, and Druck finds himself over toward the tower side. What could be considered a power position, but with BEPS running the flag on the opposite side, looks like he and Soul Snipe trying to get closer, trying to get up in the face of BEPS.
Yeah, Bound and Nico playing aggressively in the base here, but Bound grabs one, not able to find another, and this flag looks like it's pretty good position for KrakenSeas to secure a return. 3 dead now for BEPS. Eco, last player alive. Map's going to be split 50-50, but with Rockets and OS coming up here, we'll see who comes away with these advantages.
Rocket's already up here, and looks like Bound is going to be the one to grab a hold of it. Player on the left and the right, and a direct rocket to take away the overshield from Soul Snipe. Stellar ends up with it, uses it immediately, double out of him, but Suppressed going sky high in order to take him down. Suppressed final player alive from KrakenSeas and immediately placed through his lane. And on the side of BEPS, he's gonna pay for that one.
Yeah, Suppressed thinking he had an opening to try to get through long haul over into kind of like the Mauler area of BEPS' base, but great teamwork from BEPS to recognize that push there and actually shut it down. New snipes came up as well, though. Falcated, he's going to lock that one down here for KrakenSeas. Looks like it might be Eco. Oh, no, not Eco grabbing it. Let's see. I don't know who got the sniper for BEPS.
I don't know if anybody's even alive to have the sniper right now.
Oh,
It seems like
oh, they got both.
everybody's dead. Everybody on BEPS is dead. It's actually Kraken with both snipers, the flag, and just like that, tying things up at one apiece. But they're still on the side of BEPS. BEPS have not cleared out their base. That means they are not safe.
No, with 2 snipers on the map is a tough
Yes,
position
Ripples.
to battle out of here on Pit. Falcated puts that last snipe shot to use. Soul Snipe connects on another one. You can see BEPS 4 dead, Druck pulling flag. This is gonna be, might be another guaranteed cap.
Yeah, you still have the sniper over toward the sword side in the hands of Falcated. You still have complete map control right now through KrakenSeas. Again, BEPS were never able to clear out their base, so Kraken are able to run yet another flag, and the overextenders are getting body blocked just like that. You find the kills, but you never found Druck with the flag.
Look at Bound just being an absolute nuisance over here in Courtyard, and somehow comes away with an impossible kill there to stay alive in KrakenSeas base. And keep in mind, BEPS' first cap was in like the first 45 seconds of the game. It's been all KrakenSeas from here on out. We've got OS Rockets coming up in 15 seconds once again. This is almost a must grab now here for BEPS.
Just mainly out of Falcated. Because of that, he's going down here. Flag still actually moving, though, from KrakenSeas, but I say that 3 quickly go down and Bound. Just sitting over toward the tower side. Wait, the flag's still moving. Druck has to get rockets, and he's gonna have to get value out of it immediately. Otherwise, we could be looking at a flag cap and stop. But there's one more. It's Penguin.
Yeah, that was a mixy situation to be in, but it is going to be over shield and flag that BEPS plays for, and KrakenSeas that gets the rockets. They were able to make the rockets not be super impactful, but BEPS is the one that looks like they're coming away with the advantage.
Flag still in their base. Return is almost there. Penguin wants to guarantee it as nobody's able to touch. Because of that, oh, Penguin threads the needle and gets the flag cap just like that, tied up at 2 apiece. But where the heck did Druck just come from?
Druck coming flying into the base, trying to clean up some of these players before new sniper rifles come up. That's going to be 5 seconds here. We saw BEPS. They don't want to let KrakenSeas get both snipers again. That was a really tough position for them to battle out of. Suppressed will go ahead and lock this one down for Kraken. Connects on the body shot onto Stellar, but Eco flies in. And now we may see an opportunity for BEPS to be the one in control.
And with things starting to favor BEPS here, I think that now's a pretty good time to maybe hop into the comms of BEPS as they're gonna try to deal with Druck and the sniper and KrakenSeas pushing their base. BEPS.
First week.
Underbridge weak, free kill.
Stay alive,
Yeah,
Don.
I'm
Try to stay
watching
alive.
that.
Dead. Second weak. One shot there's long, one shot they're long, one they're cuts. One shot they're long, one they're cuts. He's Walshy hiding, and one guy going underbridge.
Looking at the
Nice.
bridge.
He's going their training pit now. Training pit.
I can help you 2 seconds.
Going up
Oh,
there,
shit.
upstairs.
Have you,
I
have you, have you.
hear you over you. I hear you over me.
Needle pit. I'm going street. I'm going street, bound. I'm going street.
10 seconds. They're at back
I'm
range.
watching, I'm watching.
Yeah, yeah.
Press on the court.
Long in there.
They're training wing. One shot on bridge on me.
S1 one shot. S1 one shot.
2 dead.
S1 one shot left side.
Vovi.
On rockets, one guy.
Yeah,
Two dead,
one
one on
shot.
rockets. Last guy,
Sorry,
rockets
guys.
are green. Going back to their green. He's going their green. Touch, go full flag, Zane, go full flag.
Watch out, watch the training, watch the training.
What?
I have 1 rocket.
They're cuts, one shot, dead.
Was it Walshy? They're good long, good long.
Yeah, and their needles.
Spawning in 1 second, Britton.
Traded.
I trade.
The first.
running it long, Adam. I'm running it long. 1 second.
Okay, there's 2 1-shots, dude. 2 1-shots. He's 1 shot to your right, Kevin.
Still weak. They're weak.
Let's get him. Let's your flag up, man.
They're training pit. They're training pit. They're good.
I'm right. Do that.
Got their Mauler. Got their Mauler. 2 shot on the grain. 2 shot on the grain. I like the pressure on Queer thing. I like that. I like.
Ooh, towards the end of that, you see the communication there and a little bit of small talk, but almost out of game coaching while happening in the game. Say, hey, I like that pressure on that Queer. Let's keep doing that. It's usually something kind of calms you in here after a game, but making that play in game, I kind of like that. I also will say, I like how efficient and quick bounce comms are. Like, before he even grabbed the rocket, he's saying, I have 1 rocket. And he was still on training before he dropped down into the pit. I love the efficiency and the quickness and being heads up with the comms. I think it's actually really important.
Oh, definitely. Getting as much information across as quickly as possible, as clearly and concise as possible. You know, a lot of times as early as possible as well, if you can accurately kind of predict what's going to be happening, whether or not there'll be a 1-shot on the map or you will get rockets, even though, like, you know, maybe they haven't quite spawned yet, but you should be able to be in position to lock them down. You know, I think, you know, Formal is another one that comes to mind where they have just these kind of crazy, quick, you know, auctioneer voices or kind of talking styles that most people can't even compete with, but for somehow, some way, they can do it.
Still tied up at 2 apiece right now, so gonna need a whole lot of those comms and a whole lot of shots to be hit from either one of these rosters. But Stellar sneaks the flag through long haul. He actually turns the corner. KrakenSeas a 3 down. What? The pull was perfectly timed to go with the slays. Stellar pops it. What just happened?
There we go. BEPS, after coming out hot to start this one off, it was all KrakenSeas for a minute or a few minutes, but at the end of the game, BEPS coming in clutch and actually takes their 2nd win now of the series. Like we said, there were a lot of closer games before this, but BEPS not able to close it out. Now we are seeing Eco 23, Stellar 22. Eco top frag for the lobby here. It's definitely one of the things that we'll have to see for the squad to continue on some of their success here.
Wait, why did Eco say whoa? Wait, what did I miss in the chat? Eco randomly just typed
to me.
Whoa.
6K damage too. Big numbers, big numbers. But
when
pit
Eco
flag,
and Stellar play like that, you're looking good, right?
Oh, 100%. And I think somebody in chat pointed out as well, during the end of that calm listening, we were seeing a lot of kind of like coaching mid-game, or them talking about, you know, things that they liked that they were doing. You know, you don't always have to wait till after the game to do it. You know, we don't have like in-game timeouts or anything, but like we said, it's practice, and at the end of the day, they're trying to get as many reps in and is clear, get everyone on the same page for what it's going to look like and what they can do in Atlanta.
And guys, you're taking a look at the scoreboard right now, and look how close these games have been. Let's take Strongholds out of the equation here. Let's focus on the CTF 3-2, 4-3, 2-3. Each and every one of those separated by just 1 cap. King of the Hill, same exact storyline. 3-2. 4-3. Oddballs going down as far as the rounds go, 2-1. You know, seeing those round number 3s. If you take Strongholds out of the equation, again, obviously 7-2. I'm not taking anything away from Kraken, but I'm saying these are extremely, extremely close games.
Oh, it's been a great series to watch so far, and BEPS being one of the teams I'm most excited about seeing, kind of like what they do here, how well they're prepared going into Atlanta. And still one of my teams that, you know, obviously we've seen Luminon become the main topic of discussion around who is going to contend with Shopify. But if you watch the qualifier, you know, I kind of think outside of Luminon, BEPS probably had their closest series with them, right? And it's a team that has constantly played, all these players constantly playing against each other, Luminon, Shopify, BEPS. These are the 3 rosters where they're the combination of different players with different members of themselves have just been playing each other for 5 years in the grand finals, like over and over and over again. So, you know, this is a long time in the making.
It really is, and so far an exciting series, and gonna get even more exciting here. First time we're seeing vacancy actually in the rotations. Gonna be King of the Hill on vacancy, and I will say, out of all the game types that we've seen on vacancy, I think King of the Hill plays the best. I think no matter whether you're a fan of the map or not, I think we all can agree the best game type for it is probably King of the Hill. The way the hills move from from the top mid over towards the hard yellow, and then hard green. I'm sorry, hard green, hard yellow, and then back red. Like every hill has a purpose. I think King of the Hill is easily the best game type for vacancy.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like vacancy is like Live Fire's stepbrother. I mean,
Okay, I can see it. I can definitely see that.
like we're a tower right here. Like, you kind of switch up like tower. You take A and you put A into tower, and then you just make a mini tower at A, and now we've got Live Fire. And then you switch green and camo, and then boom.
Boom, done.
And boom,
You know, every
vacancy.
map in Halo Infinite should just be an inverse of Live Fire. Like, Live Fire is so good of a map, we just need to make different versions of it.
Yeah, that's exactly. There's a whole family of Live Fire.
Jeez. Oh my gosh, those 360 snapping onto the target. The Soul Sniper reminded us that when he has any kind of sniper in his hands, he is a threat. And reminding Stellar, don't forget it, still scoring right now, Kraken.
Yeah, incredible
Dude, what?
play. Kraken still coming out hot. Not happy about losing that last game. Soul Snipe doing what we've seen from him so many times before. Not able to turn that into another triple kill, which he's had quite a few of. But incredible play nonetheless.
Soul Snipe, absolutely incredible so far here. Vegas King of the Hill get real mixy, but who's gonna finish out with the hill? Can Kraken close it out?
Yeah, it looks like they do go ahead and close out the first hill, and they're going to be in great position to start scapping on the second hill as well. So definitely BEPS finding themselves in a tough spot. Like we said, they're probably feeling decent about last game, coming out with a clutch win towards the end, but they're going to have to lock in again right now because KrakenSeas is not happy about that loss.
1-0 so far here. And Penguin winning the 1v1 against Soul Snipe. Some good damage on the Falcated, but not before getting taken down. Druck with some big kills. A little bit of team nade damage. I'm trying to find out where that came from. Zico on the high side. Can he survive?
Very mixy engagements. Both teams essentially fighting for the spawn points out here. You can see as the spawns are coming up, suppressed to the left, and just to the right of that are the other members of BEPS. So this is going to be very mixy until things kind of get settled down a little bit, and you can see one team getting the close spawns. Down. I like this movement here. Grapples
As right
the
now,
player around the
I'm going to
wall.
have to pass it back over to you, Cal. But
Yeah, I hear you, Tony. No worries at all. We'll see if we get you back into the lobby here momentarily. Internet issues always to be have to dealt with in online environments. Bound 9 kills, 5 deaths, and a +4. You can see great defense though coming out of BEPS. KrakenSeas halfway capped on the hill, but BEPS are the ones fighting to try to maintain this defensive position and potential spawn points closer towards the hill. Soul Snipe though, he gets shock rifle again. Doesn't even want to risk not connecting on shot, and because he's got his teammates there fighting with him, is trying to get some solid bandit damage out as well. Eventually gets cleaned up. It gets cleaned up as 3 members go down for BEPS. Bound, last player alive, gets cleaned up. And that is going to, or should be here. Hill number 2 also going over in favor of KrakenSeas. 10 kills out of Bound. Drunk with 10. Foul with 11. Foul, keep in mind, we saw 55 kills out of him in the game that just in these previous games here as well. We are into hill number 3. Druck finds himself with the shock rifle once again. Does use the last shot, not able to connect with that one. And as 3 go down once again for BEPS, KrakenSeas find themselves in scoring position. They're getting the closer spawn points. And if BEPS can't clear out tower, this might be a tough one for them to break.
I think I might be getting better here.
I think I'm hearing you now, Tony. I think we're
maybe
good.
not.
Potentially.
2-0 lead so far for KrakenSeas. Suppressed scoring here. Falcated. Finding some shots downrange. I'd love to see that. As Bound tries to push over toward the hotel side. Looks like the pings are going down. They know where Bound and BEPS are pushing. They're defending as much as possible, but here comes BEPS.
Penguin with a great job breaking through this setup here. He's got the carbine in his back pocket, grabbed one, beat down a second player, and with some nice finesse moves here, should be able to stay alive through the rest of the aggression. But BEPS, they have a long way to go if they're going to be able to secure this capture here. KrakenSeas 90% of the way capped already, no room for error. But with 2 members down, I don't think Stellar is going to be able to do enough here.
Yeah, it seems like with BEPS not having as much practice as some of these other squads, you know, vacancy might just be a little bit of a mystery to them here. As 3-0 so far starting for KrakenSeas, already up 7-2 in the series, and now 1 cap away from putting their 8th on the board.
You can see Eco pushing into the base, has a player weak in front of him, not able to connect with that melee. Falcated with the thrust, being very slippery there. A couple members of KrakenSeas playing top middle in front of the doors, but Eco with the angle and with the flank catches 2 members off guard. That's going to be 3 dead momentarily. Shock rifle in the hands of Bound, and BEPS looking to get back into this one.
Now with the shock. Also holding red at the same exact time here. Wants to block off the angle from Red Jail. Is able to do literally just that. And that's a double. Even Druck's in trouble, because even if Bound's not there, his teammate Tar Stellar gets a double of his own. And just like that, BEPS could be taking their first hill.
Yeah, that was some disgusting sniping from Bound. The sensitivity he's playing on in order to be able to pull off back-to-back 180 no-scopes, and then the control required to connect on some of these headshots as well. You know, Bound proving why he's a world champion player. Uses that last shot perfectly, kills Soul Snipe, has a grapple, tried to finesse, but with 3 members of KrakenSeas on this side of the map, him and Eco will both be taken out.
As of right now, KrakenSeas simply playing Slayer at the moment here, 1 minute 13 seconds, and BEPS have to score 3 different hills in order just to tie the game up. Yeah, that's definitely a Slayer opportunity, and Kraken are gonna love just padding these stats.
Now, if they can break this and cap it and 100-0 the next hill, you know, a tall ask, but that would still give them, you know, 30 to 40 seconds to work with to tie this one back up. You know, Halo Infinite, unlike any Halo, or the most of any Halo, is the never over till it's over format. There's never been a better Halo to battle it out into the very last second than there has been in this game.
As long as you're in the hill, that neutral time will stop. The question is, can you stay in it for 46 seconds of neutral time while Kraken are trying to take your lives? That's a momentary forward down. That's 10 seconds to come off of respawn. Another 10 just to get towards the hill. And as you spawn up, you have every member of KrakenSeas just having their reticles trained on you, pelting you with bullets here. This is bad.
Yep. Gone from bad to worse here. Now they do get a kill onto Suppress, which will allow them to at least get in the bottom center. Now, what kind of defense can they hold here? There's a lot of angles to watch and not a lot of players to do it here.
Double stacking the hill is a good place to start, though. Sadly, it's back-to-back kills for Kraken that cleared him out almost immediately. Bound going for the shock rifle, and now it needs to get it activated towards the hill, which is surrounded by different members of Kraken. You're able to get a trade, which is not bad, or not the end of the world, but the fact that you can't seem to get in the hill cleanly, because KrakenSeas are not only slaying in the hill, they're slaying around it.
Yeah, Suppress has the thrust over there as well. 5 seconds of neutral time left. Eco goes for a long-range swing. They'll be able to clean up a couple of these kills, but it's not necessarily this hill as much as the next hill that you really got to worry about, because even with all this work and all this time put in, they are still down by 1.
I mean, I will say, quite impressive. A minute and 10 seconds worth of neutral time, and you're able to take 2 different hills. That's impressive. I mean, it's a bend but don't break strategy. You have to imagine that this is where it ends. You would have to imagine. Hold on, Stellar. Goes right at the soul snipe. KrakenSeas still have to get up on the map here, and Suppress now enters the blue side, but Eco is locked in on him. A piv here can really open things up, but as I say that, the dream, it's over.
Yeah, KrakenSeas just wisely takes their time, spreads out on the map, and after Stellar had gone down, they just needed to kind of pinpoint where Bound and Penguin were, as they knew Eco was in the hill, and it was just a matter of time between getting set up in a couple of good positions. Sure enough, with only 3 seconds left on the clock, not enough to really be a factor there. You could take a look at the assists. Bound was kind of slaying out for his team, but really it's Penguin. That was the story of that game, I think. 15 kills, 18 assists. We had Druck doing work for his squad, most kills, second most assists in the lobby. Once again, KrakenSeas takes another one.
Yeah, I think Druck has an incredible performance here, and everybody really, when it comes to the slays, the assist and the damage so far for this KrakenSeas roster. On the other side of things, you know, obviously KrakenSeas, a big win for them, and so far it's kind of been the same theme. They're all doing great in the slays. They're all especially doing great in the assist as well. Usually have 3 players in double-digit assists, which I love for KrakenSeas and want to continue to see that. On the other side of things, though, BEPS, you were able to cap, what, 2.25 hill, like 2.25 of hills in a minute and 10 seconds. Like, if you got to think, if you have that same level of intensity in the beginning of the game as opposed to toward the end, again, we could see some magic being happen. Like, the fact that they literally had KrakenSeas in a point where they're slaying out for a minute and 10 seconds and you almost capped 3 hills, that is not easy to do, especially on vacancy.
Yeah, because after Stellar won that piv, like over towards the elbow, he was the first player to drop it. He almost got a double kill if he picked off Druck that was kind of hiding over at that square market area. That could have made that whole scenario look a lot different, because I like the idea of playing aggressively there. They had to kind of make moves. They couldn't let the KrakenSeas kind of approach the situation as how they wanted to. Like we said, at the end of the day, they didn't get those kills, and it was just a little bit too late. But BEPS, they are a team where if they kind of lock in on that pressure and kind of figure out how they want to play a lot of these games earlier on, they will be able to absolutely upset the best teams.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, at home, it is your final game here, and every game has been so tight so far as KrakenSeas with an 8-2 advantage. But I will say, they will say a lot about BEPS if they're able to come out with a win on Oddball. Lattice, I feel like Oddball is definitely not their bread and butter, and honestly Lattice has really been the Achilles heel for most of the players on this lobby. So if you could come out with the win here, I think that says a lot about your growth.
Yeah, and you could see in the chat as well, Penguin actually asked if they wanted to do any Slayers. So the Streets and Plaza, I think he had asked. KrakenSeas said no, so everyone is fully aware this is the last and final game, and BEPS, they may not be too happy about KrakenSeas saying no. And you know, the only thing more important, or maybe as important, or close to it I should say maybe, as winning a scrim, Tony, you know what that is?
What's that?
Winning the last game of the scrim, because that's who gets to walk away with all the marbles at the end. Who feels good? You don't want to like win 10-1, but then have that last game be the one that you lost, because then that's just annoying.
Okay, I see. I
Like, who
didn't know
wants
that.
to
He's
end
putting
on a
out some
loss,
game.
right? Who wants to end on a loss? Who wants to get
But
off?
nobody does. That's no bed.
Exactly.
You
That's
you
what I'm
can't go to
saying.
bed on a loss. Like what? Like yeah, it makes sense. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
he's like, you want to make them play that Slayer, you beat them this game, and then they'll be like, ah, okay, fine, one more, right? That's the trick.
22-19 lead early on for Kraken, but we know with Oddball, it's really when the seconds start to turn to minutes that things really start to matter. Well, half the members of BEPS go down, Soulstipe immediately hopping on that ball. It's a neutral game, and one that's suppressed is waiting over toward the cargo side in order to strike us. Right after Eco tries to get the stick on Penguin, barely misses on that one.
Yeah, but Penguin being a nuisance here now. 2 dead for KrakenSeas. They're trying to play aggressive, get hands on this ball. The early time has gone over in favor of KrakenSeas, but still barely low as far as overall slays and kind of game clock goes. 42 points from KrakenSeas, 19 from BEPS. As Stellar pushes on a flank on these spawners. They've got a lot of players no shield, and as soon as they get these cleanups, they gotta get this ball if they expect to win.
3 go down for KrakenSeas. BEPS now get the setup. Immediately snapping onto the call-outs there. Stellar making sure that no weakened player is able to get out, at least not for free. And then when coming to the 1v1s, well, he feels as confident as ever on the 5-shot. Bound wins his 1v1 against Suppressed. And just like that, BEPS starting to show their true colors, but Soulstipe on the flank. Penguin gets away with Snipe.
Stellar 11 kills, just being a nuisance. This is the Stellar that we really haven't seen too much of today. A few games here and there, but he is being a dominant force. Penguin, he found himself the S7. Saw him connect on a couple shots. We've got 3 dead once again now for KrakenSeas. Somehow Soulstipe comes away with a stick from a bad situation. Big props there, but it is BEPS back scoring and now taking the lead.
Falcon able to get a double kill there. That's going to open things up. Eco does get his cleanup and then immediately turns that into some height advantage, which is exactly what Suppress is able to anticipate. Suppress gets his kill. Curve slides his way onto another. No! Bound is there. Drunk has to fight 2 players now. Bound making the plays.
And Stellar finessing his life so well, buying that time for Bound to come in and get these cleanups here. So great job by BEPS. They found themselves in a pretty scary position, but somehow turned, like you like to say, Tony, lemons into lemonade. And 15 now for Stellar, as BEPS is not looking to end this series, at least, on a loss.
Penguin looking icy with the movement here, but he's forced to back over toward the red side. Information is power. Information ultimately KrakenSeas use in order to take him down. Now back over toward the mid-map Druk goes, and KrakenSeas already scoring, but like, where's everybody at? There we go, a process elimination. If they're not on the left side of the map, they must be on the right.
Druk picks up a nice piv there. Takeouts. These players is working on a flank. They're kind of split 50-50 on the map, but somehow BEPS finds the ball. Rather than kind of set up and fight, they're looking for a quick play ball. Stellar not able to find the stick, but he did his job. It is a huge advantage as far as numbers go for BEPS, so hopefully they'll be able to turn this in, for KrakenSeas, hopefully turn this into some time.
54 points so far here for Kraken, but job's not done, especially when BEPS currently have the lead and are currently shooting like that. Stellar is getting hot. 18-9 at the moment out of Stellar, as Kraken still set up over towards red. And there's the man of the hour. Stellar on the push. Penguin's gonna join them to get the ball out of their hands, and Stellar just dodging, bobbing and weaving, gets his shields back. BEPS scoring once again.
And that all came from Stellar's incredible strafe onto Suppress. Suppress probably thought he had himself an easy kill with a few shots onto Stellar's back, but he put him on notice with that one. Set 80-69. We are reaching the final segment of this game. Drunk, last player alive, will be able to grab himself a kill as he's continuing to push on the ball carrier here, but Eco recognizes where this aggression is coming from and rotates the ball out.
Yeah, and mind you, throughout this entire series, you know, when BEPS do get into these isolated 1v1s, just like you're seeing so far in this round, they tend to win a lot of them. Not every one of them, but honestly, a lot of them. It's really been Kraken's teamwork and their assist that have been able to find a way to outslay even the likes of a BEPS roster. But so far this game, maybe too many 1v1s are being had, at least on the side for Kraken.
Oh, great job by Druck. He had that QT, and he kind of made Stellar not kind of figure out where he was going to be hiding and clean up that kill. Stellar had thrust and sniper there, so that one could come back to hurt them. He connects on the no-scope. He's got another player next to him. Will finish him off as well. And with just under 40, or with 40 seconds left to play and only 20 needed to win, this could be KrakenSeas making a comeback.
Not done. He's not done. Does enough damage for his teammate to come in quick with the cleanups. Soul Snipe, because of that, gets a sniper, but a flying down ends up right in his face. Less than 30 seconds left of neutral time here. Bound does end up getting away with the ball and sniper. Now Kraken have to cross the mid-map.
Great overall plays by Bound to come away with those kills and secure round 1 win now here for BEPS. Keep in mind, we are in the last game of the series here, and while it's not a kind of game 11 series determining game, we talk about nobody wants to end on a loss, so this has got as much on the line here as most of the games that we've played tonight.
Looking for one more round is BEPS. Elam, I talked about it earlier. You don't want to be the one to lose the last game. You can't even go to sleep on a loss. We know the rules. Oh, apparently so does Stellar. Beautiful headshot for his 20th kill. 10 assists to go along with it, and the pings are going down, trying to anticipate where Kraken can be pushing from. Druck gonna spawn in front of the sniper. Soul Snipe ends up breaking out of his spawn, and that's gonna be big on their way to trying to force the ball out of BEP's hands.
Yeah, Stellar with the sniper, though. He's found 3 so far, has eyes on the 4th player. He can just bait. Yeah, Eco baits himself out for Stellar to clean up that kill as well. Druck was weak. Not weak enough to get him with the no-scope, but he does get the trade as well. 24 kills now. Stellar starting to take over the lobby. 92 points out of Eco. He's all over the objective this game. And we have just started the round. Only 25 seconds of neutral clock off the board, but almost 50 seconds of time for BEPS. This is one of the most kind of starts, or the best starts to an oddball we've seen on this map.
47-0 run. This is the best that we've been wanting to see. I mean, since we've heard they come together, and especially during this entire series. Druck kind of stuck over toward the bottom tower box, but able to navigate it well enough in order to get his shields back and live to see another fight, but ultimately a fight that Bound will end up winning. Falcon threading the needle, trying to get some extra damage onto the players onto the low side. Penguin introduces him to the fight and immediately gets himself a kill. And it's just back and forward as both teams trading blows here. Bound with the missed melee, though. That's going to cost him his life.
It does cost him his life. Suppressed does some really good map movement. Keep him guessing, actually kind of force that melee miss as well. But even as we say that, it's another 50 or another 13 points on the board here for BEPS as they're about to reach the 60-point mark. Finally, we're seeing KrakenSeas start to score. They are down by 1 round here in this final game. Suppress trying to rotate the ball, but Eco on the collapse. Druck takes the QT to try to get out of dodge, but it's not going to be enough. He also gets cleaned up. Bound hunting down Falcated. He chose the wrong direction and will go ahead and be taken out as well. But looks like BEPS, actually looks like KrakenSeas is going to come out ahead in this one.
Yeah, to be honest with you, just when you thought that BEPS should have the advantage, some way, somehow, KrakenSeas find a way to overwhelm them with those numbers, and just like that, Krakens are the ones scoring. BEPS may have the lead right now, but they better be careful. Don't go play with fire. You're bound to get burned as Soul Snipe turns and burns the opposition all the way from the cargo side, and KrakenSeas are still scoring.
Still scoring. Druck now with new sniper as well. You can see the members of BEPS pushing to the outside. Bound gets his face ripped off. 3 dead once again for BEPS, and their huge lead that they had to open up this game has now been cut in half, and there's no real sign of it stopping here.
6 bullets to work with. A double push out of BEPS over toward the tower side. information still power as Druck calling it out, navigating the troops, ends up getting the body shot onto Penguin. The next shot is clearly a headshot, and even Eco can get it. Druck not missing a beat whatsoever. Although you lose your ball carrier, it doesn't matter. Druck is everywhere on the map, and that includes on the ball, but what a flank by Bound.
Well, that was a pretty mixy situation. It was a 3 down for both teams. Druck picked up a couple of nice kills to force that scenario, but BEPS was just on the action or off a respawn a little bit faster, and they prevent KrakenSeas from really getting much more scoring than an extra 10 points here. It is a mixy scenario once again as 2 go down for BEPS, and they didn't get the beneficial spawns off this last engagement. If Stellar, I was going to say if Stellar goes down there, this is going to be tough. Bound is the only one now really in any position to make a play. Penguin is coming in with some reinforcements. There's 2 players weak, but they're just so staggered on these pushes. KrakenSeas has now taken the lead.
Everybody on BEPS just being kept out of the red side of the map, and KrakenSeas just taking advantage of it. And this man on score, this man that was on screen right there in Soul Snipe has been doing it all for KrakenSeas. Look at that stat line: 22 kills, 25 assists, 82 seconds worth of ball time. We talk about every facet of the game is being dominated by Soul Snipe in a sneaky way. Like if you only look at the kills, you're not going to see the value that Soul Snipe is having on the map.
That's a really good point, Tony. If you just look at the kills, it kind of looks like everyone's even across the board. But Soul Snipe having 26 assists with 84 points puts him like a league above most everyone else in the lobby, essentially, because he is doing everything for this team.
Lead down go KrakenSeas, and Penguin on the
That was
1v1. Penguin trying to do everything he can, as Kraken now a little bit staggered themselves. And wait, BEPS could take a lead right here, right now. It's not over. Kraken were on a bit of a run, but they've been stopped short. And I say that Penguin and Bound, back-to-back kills. Soul Snipe not able to get the stick, but don't worry, it bounced them right onto the nade and right back on the ball. Is it enough? Can Stellar and BEPS get there? Will Kraken put their first round, or will Stellar end it with a snipe?
Yeah, looks like with only a few points to go, they should be able to lock this one in. Stellar almost kind of called GG set match with that first snipe, but too many players there to make a difference. We are going to round number 3. Wouldn't have it any other way as we get ready to close out this scrim.
Looks like Penguin and BEPS not going to allow KrakenSeas to get a sniper for free anymore. And they've literally dedicated 2 players to play through the tower and over towards snipe for a reason. Because anybody on Kraken who's able to get their hands on it has become a threat. While BEPS have been going off as well, as long as they have the S7 on their side. Suppressed with the height advantage. Not for long, sees this moment to strike for the double kill. Only 1 point between both squads.
Chris comes in with the ground pound action here in Halo Infinite, takes out Bound and is on the flank big door. Picks up another trade there onto Penguins. A nice start. KrakenSeas, nobody really scoring anything here quite yet, but KrakenSeas looks like they're starting to break through.
Falcon able to go at the Bound. Soul Snipe gonna lose the rest of his QT here, but Stellar goes down. Penguin has no shields. Teammates getting naded. Everybody taking damage here over towards the red side. Soul Snipe gets his kills, but that ball in an annoying position. Have to take an extra second or 2 to get a hold of it.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get away with this ball, but 2 members of his team did. He's going to elect to play it pretty early here, try to set up for some defense. But I think that was maybe a little bit too late, or no defense possible, as the members of BEPS are too quick on this push. And now we're seeing BEPS back in scoring position.
Eco stretched out all the way toward the cargo side, taking space and influencing exactly not only where KrakenSeas can spawn, but also where they can move. Because of that, Eco is the 1v1 against Suppressed, doing everything he can to stay alive, pulling Falcated and KrakenSeas away from the ball push in order to make sure they guarantee a kill on him. Soul Snipe ends up finding a spawner. Falcated has one to deal with, and right now it's just both teams trading out lives, but KrakenSeas starting to win these battles.
Yeah, it is still pretty low scoring game so far. Lots of trades going out as far as the kill counts go. Falcated grabs himself a triple kill. He's at 39 kills. And leave it to Falcated on Lattice and Livefire especially to just be top frag for the lobby. You know, pretty much guaranteed to break 40 at least this game. Not many people put up those kind of numbers as consistently as Falcated.
Yeah, Falcated loves Oddball because they're generally the longest game modes that we have in Halo Infinite, and the longer a game mode goes, it feels like the better, more consistent player is gonna play. Like, you could be better than a team or even a player for like 3 minutes, but like if you gotta go 25 minutes with Falcated, he's gonna drop 40 on your head. It's just simple as that. The longer the game mode, the better he's gonna look.
Yeah, Penguin's also got 38 himself, though. Also 19 assists. Assists across the board, still pretty high for everyone. Soul Snipe, though, leading that category on top of about to break 30 kills. He's got more assists than he has kills at the moment.
Do we have a record as far as assist in a game? I don't know if this is breaking it, but do you realize how ridiculous 31 assists is? Like this has to be getting close to a record.
Definitely a lot of assists and a lot of time left to play as well, so don't think that number is going to stay the same here. Penguin, he's still got that sniper rifle over towards blue. The ball's pretty close, but if they don't get a touch here soon, it'll reset. And we'll go ahead and Stellar grab that one, bring it back into blue base, and now we're seeing BEPS back in scoring.
30 points and counting here for BEPS. Snipe in the hands of Penguin has the responsibility of watching one side of perimeter, but the callouts are coming down that there's a push going through mid and more favoring the tower side. So reposturing right now is Penguin, and Suppress sneaks in, and now he's overwhelmed them with numbers. That's what KrakenSeas have been doing. It's all game. It's just all series. Find an isolated player, send 2 at him.
Eco goes down, though. At the same time, several members for KrakenSeas drop. Suppress wanted to play for the ball, but without any covering fire, wisely elects to pass up on that one. Try to extend his life towards bottom center. Stellar, Falcated, both at 40 kills apiece now. Val, the first one to pull away, but Stellar, he's the one grabbing or accumulating ball time.
52 points here for BEPS. It's round number 3, so there's no more chances. Final game of the series. And KrakenSeas understand the moment. They're scoring, looking to eat away at the lead that BEPS were able to create in the early game here. Soul Snipe all over the place with the sniper here, and that includes trying to find the backside of Stellar. Gets a couple of shots, not enough to take him down, but Soul Snipe cuts him off. Great job anticipating the movement, and then also extra damage, staying alive. Will he QT back? He's
Likes to not QT back. I thought he might take it. The opportunity might have existed there for a brief moment. I think he's probably just dead either way. But nonetheless, 10 down only by 10 now. KrakenSeas able to cut down on this deficit significantly. Penguin finally reaches 40, suppressed as well. So Stellar, suppressed, Falcated, and Stellar just absolutely slaying out.
less than a minute on the clock right now in neutral time. This is not an opportunity to panic for either one of these teams, but an opportunity to respect the moment. As time starts to wind down, you just want to make sure you're in the lead. Right now, KrakenSeas are the ones with a slight lead, but also Stellar has a sniper, takes down one. Soul Snipe gets bodied. Eco, though, trying to chase him away, and they're able to chase them. Oh my gosh. There's no way that KrakenSeas lived through that, and BEPS are the ones 3 down. What just happened?
Make that 4 down, Tony. As Suppressor
What?
got the sniper, and he just started taking over the game. He's connect on so many body shots with the sniper. Somehow dodges that grenade with the QT. And with only 30 seconds left, we're seeing KrakenSeas take the lead and maybe be able to close out this round 3 oddball as well. And that definitely was not going to be the way that BEPS will want to end the series.
69 seconds here for KrakenSeas. Less than 31 seconds worth of neutral time here. Penguin doing everything he can to stay alive. Falcated finds a way over toward the red side, and he knows the weakened Eco here, but doesn't know that Eco is ready for the fight. Once he gets his shields back, aggressive as possible. A momentary 4 down. BEPS the one scoring, they're gonna take back the lead.
2 dead. Game clock 18. They've taken the lead. See if they elect to start playing time, but looks like they want to just build on their lead here for the moment. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but it might not matter at the end of the day. 79 on the board. Now they will be playing time here now. 10 seconds left.
Soul Snipe making a sneaky play, able to get the 5-shot, and has time to go in for the ball. Beautifully played, but not done just yet. Time is winding down. Nades are coming in left and right. BEPS have now had the place surrounded, and just like that, Kraken, you can't fight off BEPS and have the ball at the same time. BEPS taking the last game of the series.
Ooh, and that was a close one. Nail biter as it comes down to the end. Only a few seconds separating these two teams here. The overall score, 256 to 264 each round, kind of back and forth. It was really Stellar and Penguin coming through at the end there in a major way. Foul was, I think it was Falcated leading the lobby as far as slays go for the majority of the game. Then Soul Snipe came back, kind of tied him up, still with 33 assists from Soul Snipe. Suppressed at that 46, but Stellar came through huge, dropping 48 for that win.
Yeah, big time plays being made by Stellar, almost a 50 bomb. Like you said, though, plenty of kills across the board. Everybody having a chance to show out. And that includes Penguin in the damage department. 14,500 damage, only taking 12,700 damage in return. And I mean, everybody just shooting just about 60% accuracy. And I wish one of these days I'll be up there, man. I might need a new gaming chair or something. I don't know.
You never might need a few things here, Tony. I can try to help you put together a list depending on how much time we've got. Not sure we have enough time for this scrim as we've come to a close as far as the overall scrim here. Big shout out to KrakenSeas and BEPS for letting us jump in and spectate those games. Super excited to see what both of these teams have in store for us in the future. This series, we'll go over to KrakenSeas, but I can promise you right now, I want to see what we can do to get these guys in a rematch as well, because I think a rematch might be for another entertaining or even more entertaining scrim with these teams having a few more reps under their belt.
Absolutely. And just to remind you guys, I mean, obviously Kraken not winning the final game, but they did win the series overall. So they're going to be getting paid out by Straight Rippin, a little bit of money in their pockets, you know, as a thank you for letting us come in and put on this show for you guys at home. And if you guys want to get involved, I mean, I don't know if you guys realize this, 100% of the income that Straight Rippin makes as far as from subs is going into the pockets of the players, going into the pockets of this production. You know, 100% of what you guys are putting in is making sure that we continue to put on a great product and continue to put on a show for each and every one of you guys. So far, if you like the cash grab that we saw earlier, if you love, you know, the Straight Rippin' Pro Scrim Nights, which so far is our 3rd iteration, and I don't know about Kyle, but I don't plan on stopping at all. I want to keep going because they've been an absolute blast. If you guys are loving that, you could directly be involved in support that you show with the follows and the subs. Means more than you think. I promise you. Some of you guys are probably thinking like, oh, but my $5 doesn't go here. I promise you it does. It adds up. And just want to give a huge shout out to Straight Rippin for bringing me and Elamite along for this journey, because so far it's been great. And again, we are not stopping. Elamite, do you have any final words for the people at home?
Yeah, not just the subs as well, because, you know, obviously that's one thing, but the social media support as well. There's Twitter, you know, lots of different ways to show support and be involved and just help get some of the word out there. Obviously, like we said, we are in the passion year of Halo, the passion year. So if you're passionate about Halo and love it, you can be involved and support all the players, some of the orgs, everyone involved trying to do and create content doesn't have to be financial support as well, because it all goes a super long way. Even being here in the stream, chatting, everything like that is actually super huge. So appreciate everyone kind of tuning in tonight, especially.
Absolutely, and just want to give a quick shout out to Aragon Sierra. I mean, hey, we like Aragon Sierra dropping the tier 1 sub, but like Elamite said, I mean, like there's ways to participate without being monetary wise. Social media, even a follow on the channel. Hey, if you guys want to know when's the next time a show's coming to Oddball, we've been putting on plenty of them. Why not follow and throw that notification bell on? So this way, every time we go live, you're getting a notification. You're gonna know that Straight Rippin has your back when it comes to great content on the road to Atlanta. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, KrakenSeas, for the huge win. I think the final scoreline was 9-3, I believe it was, in favor of KrakenSeas against a very, very good BEPS roster. And until next week when we come back with another Straight Rippin Pro Scrims, see you later. Peace.